Welcome, everybody, to Destiny Digest number 114. My name's Danfinity, and I will be a host tonight. We have our panel with our wonderful hosts. We have Tidley.
Hello.
We have Epic Dan.
Hello.
We got Sammy Cat in the Mines. How are you doing down there?
It's rough.
It's rough. It's rough. What are you grinding for right now? Just any light, any power whatsoever?
I am -2 on helmet. We gotta get a helmet.
We gotta get a helmet. We'll be checking in occasionally to make sure that you get that helmet and other pieces throughout the episode. And we also have a special guest, Lemonade. Lemonade, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Hello. How's it going?
It's good to have you. It's going well. A little bit before we get into like what we've been doing this week, let's talk about housekeeping, shall we? You can join us live every Sunday night from 3 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific to 6:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Destiny Digest. And you can ask questions live to help form and shape the show. It's a wonderful experience when you do that. Episodes go live the next day on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Pocket Casts. It should be an early one because I have time this week to get it out and about. You can help others find the show by rating and reviewing the show on your podcast platform of choice. Anything that you say is helpful, even if it's like if you're like, man, that Danfinity, his laugh I don't like so much, but 5 stars, that helps other people see the show. All of this to say, how's everybody's week going? What have you guys been up to? Sammy, let's start with you.
I've been dealing with a really bad lupus flare, but
yeah,
during the good times, I've been trying to power level in Destiny 2, the video game.
Perfect.
I got to get to 400 by Tuesday, and I'm at 310 right now. So,
oh boy,
I don't
Sammy,
know what's happening.
you don't have to do that to yourself.
I do.
No, you don't.
Grandmaster Dungeon Lairs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's something that we'll be talking about here in a little bit. But yeah, I figure that's something that is very important to you. So maybe you do have to get 400. I'm so sorry, Sammy. I'm so sorry. Godspeed you in the mines this week.
Thank you. I'll let you know how it's going.
If it's any consolation, Gray Fox in chat says that they're 280. So
good luck, Gray Fox.
Yeah, there you go. Epic Dan, what about you, sir? Seeing some Chronos, the I Knew Dawn, and Silksong on your list here. How are you liking those?
Chronos was a really actually cool game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people knew about it, but the devs reached out, wanted me to play it, so I checked it out. Didn't really know much about it beforehand, but like it's a really cool horror game.
Okay.
Third person survival. It to me felt like a really cool mixture between like Dead Space and the Resident Evil series.
Okay.
And it only took about 15 hours to beat. And it has some really cool like cosmic abilities you could have in a horror game was actually really unique. Highly recommend it.
Heck yeah.
Then obviously Silksong, which that's really all I've done since it's launched.
That announcement, we've been offline for a couple weeks. That was announced last week?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that it was going to be dropping, and like,
well, the trailer, they announced it that Tuesday. That they announced that they were putting out a trailer, which was okay, cool. We'll finally see a trailer for it. And at the end of the trailer, it also said it was going to come out 2 weeks later.
That is insane.
So then my entire schedule just got absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone.
If anything was happening after September 3rd,
yeah,
isn't happening for me anymore. And I'm about 40 hours in now, and it's my game of the year. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
y'all can keep going back and forth between Claire, but like,
yeah,
it's Hollow Knight now.
Yeah, they dropped that out of nowhere, and I know several games that were like pitched to like release within the same time frame. They all moved. So
they all moved.
I've seen some people calling this the GTA 6 of indies. And it makes the most sense.
It kind of is.
What made it even worse is that we couldn't pre-order it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing on PC. So when it released this past Thursday at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Within 20 seconds of it being gone from like coming soon to purchase, Steam crashed.
Wow.
I couldn't put it in my cart for 2 hours.
Ooh.
And after those 2 hours, I couldn't get through the I literally made sure that I didn't need to have to put it in the cart info. I went ahead and bought Steam money. So all I had to do was click purchase and it would instantly pull it from my Steam wallet.
Yeah. That's smart.
Still took 45 minutes after that for it to actually count. And it kept getting errors. And then by about noon, I was actually able to like purchase / download and then boot up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been worth it. I waited 7 years.
Yeah, I heard PlayStation Network went down for a little bit.
PlayStation went down, Xbox went down, Humble Bundle was
Switch
broken.
Go down? Nintendo?
I don't know about Switch. I didn't really read a lot about. I do know that there was one person who told me their friend was purchasing on or trying to purchase on Steam and purchase on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it technically wouldn't work as well, but he was trying to purchase it just wherever it was going to let him purchase it so he could start playing. And a lot of people didn't expect it to be this big. They thought it was a meme.
Mm-hmm.
Probably was, but like there were people that were mad that Steam was down because they were trying to purchase other games.
Yeah.
And they couldn't purchase a single thing because of it. And it's not a game for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is something that you like to play, it's been absolutely worth it.
Okay. So I never played Hollow Knight. If I were to purchase Silksong and just run through that, would I be missing anything? Or
I was going to ask the same thing because I've never
yes and no. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to play Silksong because of the hype.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are going to play Silksong because of finally like, okay, I'll check it out.
Right.
From a story standpoint, from a intro standpoint, you can jump right into Silksong and be fine.
Okay.
The problem will be the skill of playing this style of game.
Okay.
You're probably better off. Yeah, I'm almost at the end of the game. You're probably better off playing Hollow Knight 1 or the original Hollow Knight because Silksong, it doesn't play like a sequel. It plays like a DLC where it basically it's expecting you almost to know how to play and fight and how to explore. It's also a Metroidvania, which is going to cause issues.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're gonna get stuck to a wall and then realize in 20 hours after you've gotten 2 extra skills, now you can go back and keep exploring. And then you're gonna come across issues where you're confused, you don't know where to go, and it's going to force you to explore, which is a part of what makes Hollow Knight so good. And also what makes Metroidvania so good. And the closest game in the last couple of years that I can connect it to is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Okay.
Which was the last really great Metroidvania that made me like feel like the genre deserved to get some more praise.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew once Hollow Knight came out, people were gonna like really dive into it. So I personally been telling people you should probably play Hollow Knight 1 first because you probably should get a bit more experience before jumping into a very difficult DLC. Like they toss you into the game, and the very first boss is equivalent to some of the Path of Pain Pantheon bosses in Hollow Knight 1.
Okay.
Which obviously, if you haven't played Hollow Knight, you wouldn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are basically in-game bosses. Like at the end of the game, once you have 40, 50 hours of experience and have all the skills, they basically are taking that as a foundation of the beginning of this game. So it's a fantastic game, but I also have been taken aback because I looked at it as like an expansion or a new title. They obviously, once I once I read the article as well this week, they basically said we were making a DLC, and then about a year or two into it, we decided to make a whole game instead. So you got to treat it as a brand new DLC to a previous game, and not like It's a good jumping off point, but at the same time, it's not. So I'm kind of like, maybe play the first one first. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
And then if you feel really comfortable, then you can dive into Silksong.
Or
you can just jump right into Silksong and just get absolutely destroyed.
That's what I'm going to do, and I'm so excited about
it.
Just
jump in and suffer.
I cannot wait. And then I'm going to go back.
Because the big thing is
like
you're not going to have any skills for a very long time.
Right.
Like, unlike the first game, has a very decent scaling of, here's an upgrade. Okay, here's some skills. Here's some upgrades. Here's some health. Here's some better health. Here's some better skills. And you don't get really your first upgrade until like 20, 30 hours in, depending on how you explore. So for me, an experienced Hollow Knight player, there were times where I was like, I feel underpowered.
Right.
But that's also intended, where you don't have as much damage output as you were expecting by this time in the story and like the exploration. And it's gonna force you to get good, and you're gonna have people struggle and complain. My chat will probably tell you, just people will say, I've complained so much about this game. And right after I be a boss, I'm like, game of the year. This is the best game ever. Just every single time. And it's funny because like in the moment you're complaining because like you feel like you should be doing better.
Right.
But once you learn the attack patterns and there are fights you have to be perfect on. You pretty much have to be perfect. Because you're gonna have fights where there's so many things happening that your brain is like, I gotta dodge this, while also dodging this, while also timing my jump to there. I gotta jump here. There was one spot on the screen that you have to jump to not get hit. And if you get hit, if you fall on the boss, if you fall on the enemy, you also take damage.
Okay.
They're also having the situation that some people have complained about. In Hollow Knight 1, most enemies hit you for 1 heart.
Okay.
You start with 5 hearts. Most enemies, including bosses, will hit you with 1 heart. Everything basically hits you for 2 hearts at base.
Wow.
Which is a huge change.
Yeah.
Which is probably the main reason people are complaining so much. Because you can go into a fight and the boss will hit you for 3 hearts, 2 hearts. Ooh. And before you know it, since you don't have any upgrades,
right, you're done.
You're basically dead. Like there's been multiple times I went into a fight and then within 5 seconds I'm dead. I'm like, well, we're gonna be here for 2.5 hours. But then by the time you're done, you're like you feel like a Jedi because you're just moving around everything, not getting hit. Yeah. So, but it's my game of the year.
Some people, if it's unforgiving, and they're like, I don't know what you mean, and then I'll go back and ask them, and they're like, I know what you mean now.
I don't think it's unforgiving. No, I think it's fair. I think the problem is in its fairness. There are multiple times in the first game that you could almost steamroll and not have to care about movement, placement, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of these fights in the second game, you can't just press X and just live through it because you have so much damage, because you have so much stagger, and because you have so much health. It's very punishing for you feeling like you can greed everything.
Okay.
It's going to force you to like actually engage with fights in a way where you respect every single enemy that you come across. And that's going to probably be the thing that I think people feel is unforgiving, because in most games you feel like, 20, 30 hours in, you should start feeling you can just kind of steamroll. And even then, like I'm about 45 hours in, and any enemy I see, I can probably just die in 1 or 2 hits.
Sorry, there's a spider on my monitor.
Oh no, yeah, take care of that.
I would absolutely recommend the game, and I've told every single person who's asked, "Is this game worth it?" Absolutely, but I'm also kind of biased.
Not. Horrible timing. Where did that go?
Oh no.
But you should absolutely play it, Sammy.
Oh,
I
I'm
would
totally
watch
going
it.
to when I have time.
Yeah.
I didn't play the first one. Never got back to it, but I love the Ori games. Absolutely love them.
Mhm.
Ori and the Blind Forest,
Mm.
basically same genre. It came out before Hollow Knight did. That is a hard game. That one's unforgiving, and it is fantastic. Highly recommended.
I feel like I
So,
should play that because I have no comparison to.
It's
To
hard.
'em.
It is hard, and it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to try Silk Song because I've heard it's ridiculously hard. And I like pain, you know.
Yeah, you're somebody who likes a good challenge. Sounds like Silk Song would be for you. Tiddly, what about you, friend?
Oh, go ahead. Did you have a Lemonade? Do you have a comment?
I was just going to say, I didn't get the spider. It's gone.
So it's just hanging out.
unhappy.
It's just
They
around
left
somewhere.
to play Silk Song
Yeah.
as well. So.
I'm ready.
You're ready
It
for
comes
it.
back.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have
here-
arachnophobia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Anything bigger than that, and I have a major problem.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
So-
man. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We'll move in. We'll see what happens. It picked the right moment, didn't it? Honestly, the moment we started.
So it goes.
Oh well, we'll figure it out.
Tiddly, what about you, friend? What have you been playing?
So actually, mostly Destiny this week.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a weird week. I had a funeral to go to on Wednesday, which actually was also my wedding anniversary. So it's been a really weird IRL week. for
Yeah.
me.
Congratulations, my condolences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It was kind of one of those weeks. It's like, but at the same time, it also is kind of like, well, I appreciate because of like, one because the other for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit of a weird week, but like heavy metal, everyone is like, I hate it so much. It sucks so bad. And I'm like, this is the funnest mode that has ever existed. I think I'm the only one who loves it this much.
No.
but
No. My friend
I
Trav was
love
I
saying.
haven't played it yet.
I have not played
actually.
Heavy
I
Metal still.
think it
There's
is
definitely
so
a
much
learning
fun.
curve to it.
I'm almost gilded. I love it. It's so fun. So good.
Are you replacing Dredgen with Heavy Metal?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
I do have one question for you though.
Yeah.
Team Briggs or Team Tanks?
I like both. For different reasons.
You gotta pick
Tanks
one.
hit really hard, but the mobility on the Briggs is really fun, and also the little footprints. You got to go with the little footprints because they're so
Oh,
cute.
I love me
The
some
little-
footprints.
Yeah, the little Brig footprints are adorable. But so I played a lot of. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I've heard that they like readjusted some things before like releasing this version of Heavy Metal so that the Briggs maybe weren't as overpowered as they had been in a previous iteration.
They
So-
definitely. I don't know in terms of balance. I don't ever go in there feeling like, oh, I know people are like, oh, I wanted Briggs. Briggs are so much better. I don't really feel that way. I'm like, oh, I like being tank too and a Brig. I don't know. I like it all. It's great. It's so much fun. I just go in there and I hoot and I holler and have a great time. But I'm still, I'm 260, 270. So I made some improvements, but also
You're in the 200s now. Let's go.
I know, but I was playing heavy metal and I haven't gotten there's a really good struck on, there's a really good sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't getting any good rolls because I was getting tier 1, tier 2 drops. And of course, the higher tier drops you get, the more perk combinations you get. So if you are getting tier 4, tier 5 drops, it's much more likely for you to get the rolls you want more quickly. And so I had 10 hours into heavy metal and I hadn't gotten anything. And I was like, crap, I should probably level. So then I stopped and I did some leveling this week too. Yep. And then Dan and I did D&D on Friday, and that was really fun. We have Serial Pirate Adventure that we're recording with Telltale Taverns. So that's really, really cool. So that was actually so much fun. I always do that, and then I'm like all amped in because it's just like fun hanging out with friends and playing pretend. So
I keep wanting to record another episode immediately after that and just keep going. And
I know. That's because it's so much fun. And I feel like one of my favorite episodes, like the Christmas one that we did, Dan, that was one of my favorite ones that we did just because the vibes were so good. And we were playing siblings in that one, and just like it's kind of like, well, we're friends that are kind of have sibling vibes, so it's just worked out really well.
Yes. And even in real life, we had we had sibling vibes when we met at Gen Con this year.
That's true. That's true. When we met first at Gen Con, but it was one of those things. I love these cons because it's like I go and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I've known you forever. Like we've been friends forever. It's so great. I think I said that to you when we met.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like we've just been friends for a really long time, and it's like really natural and good. So it's great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get to mine, and then we'll talk. We'll get to Lemonade, and then do an interview with Lemonade here.
Sounds great.
I haven't been here for the past couple weeks. Mainly because, or at least last week, I went to PAX West last week, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I got to check out Borderlands 4. They had the booth there for like 15 minutes, and there was a line wrapped around that for a little bit. I got to hang out with my friend Sam Bartley. They're they used to be a CM for Bungie, and now they're a community manager for I forget their full title, but now they're a community manager for Seattle Humane. So I got to hang out with them, and I got to hang out with a lot of kittens while I was there too. That was fun.
Kittens.
Yeah. Apparently 3 of the kittens that were in the kitten cuddle puddle have been adopted at this point. So that was just great. So congratulations to them. I played Sword of the Sea before going to PAX West, which was really fun. If I don't know if I talked about this a couple weeks ago or not.
You did.
I did. Okay.
You had a lot of really good things to say about it. Yeah.
We won't even talk about that then. I will say that like the Monday after, so we had recorded that episode where I talked about it. The Monday afterward, the dev that came in to chat to like thank me for playing the game was laid off, and they were the only one laid off from their team. So that was a little weird. I've been playing a mobile game on my phone, and it started the Thursday of like before PAX. It's not Destiny Rising. It is a game called Acecraft Sky Hero, and it's got like it's got this Cuphead vibe to it with the animation.
Fun! That was a great game.
Yeah, you're a plane and you're fighting all these like rubber hose enemies. It's really fun. And I ended up getting a because they happened to be at PAX West. And I was like, oh, hey, I've been playing this game. Like, this is cool. He's like, hey, if you get to this level, I'll give you a little gotcha ball. And I was like, oh, I'll take that gotcha ball all day. So I like got to that level, got the little gotcha ball, and it was like a lenticular fan that they were giving out, which was very useful at the con because it was getting hot in those spaces. That was pretty cool. PAX West, I think I'm going to go back next year. That was just a really, really cool experience.
Now I want to go.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
we should.
I know, after talking to you, I was like, and seeing other people's pictures, I was just like, that seems like a good place to go.
Yes. They had like a Baldur's Gate 3. Larian had a huge thing for Baldur's Gate 3. They had like cosplayers that were coming out, and like you could take pictures with the cosplayers. You could take pictures with the statues and everything. Nintendo had like probably 2 huge booths where you could play Kirby and Pokemon and Hades, and I think Silksong was a part of that too. Like there was just a lot that was there. It was fairly nuts. As far as that's been my couple of weeks. It was really cool because you see pictures and videos of it, but you don't really get the size and scale of what the con is, and then you go there and it's everything that you had hoped it would be. They even had like they had an exhibit of all the old Nintendo Power covers, or like some of the Nintendo Power covers and the original artwork and stuff. And so they had figurines that they had taken pictures of for those. Some letters that fans had sent in, like in position them around the layouts for the post. It was really cool. It was such a neat time, man. Lemonade, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah. What have you been playing this past week?
Before we start, Tiddly, are you drinking out of a shoe?
Yes.
That is sick. I like that.
Yeah, it's actually a cowboy boot. So I have
I saw it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I have a redemption on my stream for channel points where they can pick out a random mug. It has to. I can veto it, but they pick out a random mug and then I buy it and I use it on stream. So I have a really odd mug collection.
I
It
like
is
it. I
the
like it.
most
Yeah.
amazing mug collection I've ever
It's
seen.
very random, but this one is a boot. Yes.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
I remember
as
when
far
we
as what-
picked that out.
Oh,
Actually,
As far as what I've been like playing this week, I like you were talking about Hollow Knight before. Is that what you were saying, Epic Dan? Like all of that went right over my head. I have not
Yeah.
touched Silksong. I have not touched Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Anything like that. I have just been solely like smashing Destiny.
Right.
Like I told you guys a little bit earlier, I made affiliate on Monday, so I've just been, doing
Congratulations.
streams, stuff like that. And thank you. Take a bow. No. What's it called? And like I said, I've just been, playing Destiny. I did do a route yesterday with one of my
Cool.
pals. It's a lot
Nice.
easier than you'd anticipate, so I'm going to try and go for a duo flawless either tonight or tomorrow, and then I'm going to do solo flawless at some point in the future with a bit of luck. But other than that, I've just been like playing Destiny. I've been interviewing a couple more people for my newest video, and yeah, that's kind of it really. I've just been busy, doing other things and stuff like that. But as far as gaming goes, yeah, just Destiny 2.
Heck yeah.
Haven't touched Destiny Rising actually, which is a bit
I know.
unusual. Yeah,
I know
haven't
all of my
touched
friends
it
are
at
like,
all.
it's so good. You should play
Yeah.
Destiny Rising. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm 270.
I've got
How am I supposed to add another grindy game?
I've
to
got
my
a whole other
life?
Destiny I got to get through.
Oh, if you think Destiny
exactly.
2 is grindy, then
Yeah.
Destiny Rising. I'm like, I don't have time. And then Borderlands coming out too.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I need to Borderlands too. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm picking Borderlands over Destiny Rising.
No, that's fair.
If I find time, but
Yeah.
You've already got one Destiny to take care of, so
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna take out of the, It's like you got like the wife, and then like you got like I'm like, no, I don't have any room for any more wives. Like I'm already committed relationship with this game.
This is one of the
Yeah,
things I always find with,
While
like,
you're
Exactly.
in Destiny rather than just fishing,
I
Just
always
let my
find it with
character
like
fish.
yeah, I always find it with Destiny, like, everyone always says like, oh, you're not playing any other games. I'm like, no, I'm playing Destiny. They're like, all the time. I'm like, yeah, all the
Yeah.
time. What do you
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, that's the
Yeah.
game I play. I
Yeah.
don't have time for another one.
yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. Yeah. So what got
Well,
you into
you just
Destiny?
don't sleep, so
Yeah, I just don't sleep.
that's how I do it. Yeah, just don't sleep.
It's true,
Uh,
Dan.
So what got you into Destiny?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. You're the
Yeah,
guest.
I've
We're interviewing you.
Yeah.
Right, I see. I just thought it was a general question. No, I've been playing Destiny since The Dark Below. My parents got it for me on a PlayStation 4. And then they took the PlayStation 4 off me because I was playing too much Destiny. So I've always been into Destiny and whatnot. I took a break during just as Witch Queen was starting, and then I came back at Season of Plunder, which is arguably one of the worst seasons to come back to. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, no, I've always just been into it. It's one of them where my parents got it for me when it was on PlayStation, and I just haven't let go of it since. All my friends are playing it at high school, or what is that, middle school for you guys? Either way.
Yeah.
And then since then, I have not let it go. But so yeah, no, it's just been hell of a ride to stick with. You know what I mean?
Heck
Even
yeah.
through all the ups and downs and stuff. So
Yeah, man. And you recently won Movie of the Week for a project where you were asking 100 Guardians what they enjoyed about the game. Like, can you talk a little bit more about that? I know some of us here on the panel were a part of that too.
yeah, Sammy was in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you going back. I think you were like number 65 or something
great.
like that. Yeah, that was
amazing. You had
that was
so
good
many
fun.
people.
The
That was
networking was
fantastic.
fantastic. I loved it. Look at
Yeah.
everyone using my GIF in the comments, for God's sake. What's it called? Yeah, it was really, really nice. I got to meet loads of new people. Chatting to so many different people gave me like a great insight into, like, granted that the game is kind of like going through a bit of a stint right now. Like, it's how do I put this? Everyone still really loves the game. You know what I mean? Like, everyone still loves Destiny, and even though it's going through all these issues right now, the reason why it's getting so much like online criticism and stuff like that is because people want it to succeed and people want it to do well. I found that while it wasn't planned, the TWID that came out that week, given that it was like, had so much like negative stigma around it and stuff, I found that was like the perfect time to upload that video, because what I was trying to do with that was just add like a splash of positivity back into, the community. I feel like that with things like Twitter and, social media as a whole, I've probably said this like 10 times now, but they tend to peddle the bad stuff, because anger sells, and, I just don't think that that's how it should be. So, just trying to, add a bit of positivity to it, just remind people that this is what people like about the game. And we shared it with Abby, Red Dead Redemption. She said that she, passed it around to devs internally in Bungie, and, because that was one of the main things for it. It started off as like a little project, but over time it kind of turned into a, hey devs, look what you've made. This is what it can do, and I thought that like halfway through, like that's kind of what I changed it to, from what is your favorite thing to do in Destiny to what is your favorite thing about Destiny. And yeah, it turned out to be really, really nice, and I loved it. And like I say, I'm making another one now, which I'm not trying to be like negative, but I feel like constructive criticism is in order as well. So instead of going like, what's your least favorite thing about Destiny, the complete polar opposite of it, I'm now making a video where it is, what changes would you like to see in Destiny 2? And I'm probably going to ask between 50 to 100 this time.
Cool.
Which is still going to be a chunk. But yeah, no, I'm still optimistic about it, and I want to, like I say, I'm trying not to be negative about it, because I don't like to peddle that stuff, you know what I mean? So I just kind of want it to be, good, and I don't know, like, yeah, just what people want to see changes as opposed to what they inherently dislike.
Yeah. I mean, there's room for constructive criticism. There's room for there's also room for positivity in sharing all of the gamut of human emotions about the game, like, yeah, it was cool to see that you won movie of the week with that.
That's not what I was going for, though.
Oh no,
I wasn't going for that.
I think that's just a cherry on top
to make a video
type of situation, right? Like that's I don't think anybody really expects it when they get that kind of thing. It just kind of happens, and like they're able to that it's just a little feather in your cap kind of deal. So what is your favorite thing to do in Destiny?
My favorite thing to do in Destiny,
or favorite thing about Destiny.
Well, yeah, okay. So my favorite thing, I'll give you two answers. So my favorite thing about, to do in Destiny, it has to be raiding with, my friends and stuff like that. Maybe, carrying, I do like doing that, and, bringing people who haven't done the raid through it, getting to have them experience it for the first time and stuff like that. But nothing beats like a raid with your friends where there's no expectations. Everyone knows what they're doing. You can sort of go into it, just smash it out, have a good time, have a couple of laughs. Something goes wrong and you all laugh about it, as opposed to who effed up, you know what I mean? Like none of that, stuff like that. I love it. As far as my favorite thing about Destiny, and I actually made a tweet on this a couple of days after, because my pal Gizmo, tweeted saying, "But what's your favorite thing about Destiny?" He said, I tweeted back and I basically just said, like, first of all, it was weird getting asked that, given that I, had the same script over and over again, saying to people like, this is what I want from you. What is your favorite thing about it? But I think my favorite thing about Destiny, it has to be the community. Like with your podcast now, and everyone making all these different projects, and just everyone coming together to make one thing, kind of just reignited that flame that I was kind of losing, given that everything that's like going on in the game. I was sort of like not dropping off, but it was it was fading away. And I'm back with a passion. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I love the community. I love everything that it stands for. And like I say, even though that social media peddles the negative, you got to remember that there's still so many positive people, and I love that about the game. Like it's a community like no other. You know what I mean? Like there are not that many communities who can raise, gaming communities that can raise like millions of dollars. Like that's for charity. Like that's just fantastic. What other game can do that? I've never really heard of one. Yeah. And I love that about the community. I think it's fantastic. So that is definitely my favorite thing about the game.
Cool. Through that project, what did you find to be like the most common answer that people enjoyed about?
I didn't ever put like a limit on what people could say. Like obviously I said what I expect from you is a 30 to 60 second like window. People were talking about like, what they enjoyed doing. I think some people just said I like doing Portal. People like saying I'd like to do raids. But a lot of people said I think the top 3 most common ones were trials carries, which was a
Okay.
shocker, to be honest with you. I wasn't quite expecting that one. Fundraising for Bungie, because like a lot of the people who were interested in doing it were fundraisers, and then also the big one was community. Everyone seemed to love the community, and even though you get a couple bad apples, because in any gaming community you always will do, with this whole unban button, which I personally don't believe exists. But with all the there is always going to be a couple of bad apples in the community, but there are so many good ones. You just sort of have to find them. And I think everyone was just saying like, yeah, I love the community. I love what it stands for. And I'm blessed to be part of it. And that's, exactly how I feel with it as well. I think everyone shares like a very similar mindset if you're big into Destiny. And yeah, I think that was like the most common answer that I got.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent, man.
Yeah.
You said this next video is about constructive criticism, talking about improvements to the game. Where in this Edge of Fate world of Destiny 2, what do you see? What would you like to see improved in the game?
I think, given that I've not played it, I have heard that Destiny Rising. I know that it's in its early phases, but I know that they do like a I think it's like a survey. Is it every week? Am I right in thinking that?
There's been 3 surveys so far I've taken.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to like badmouth anybody here, but like, we've got all these community managers, but I don't feel like there's a direct line of feedback that goes straight from, the player base to the devs. I think that could be something that would be really beneficial. So that's what I would like to see. I'd like there to be something like a survey every week where it's conducted, where it's like, hey, we've made these changes. Are they okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you think about them? Because you can make these changes and then everyone kicks off on social media and there's all these like negative stigma around it, and it's like, whoa, hang on, we need to dial this back. Let's do something different and revert the changes. But then everyone's like, oh, why did you revert the changes? Why did you make them in the first place? It's like, if we had that, how is it looking type of thing, pardon me, if we had like a how's that looking type of thing, with like a survey, we made this change, how is everyone enjoying it? I think that would be fantastic. I think that would definitely benefit the game, because then the player base would feel heard, and Bungie would know which direction to take the game, in my opinion. That I'm not sure if that's a controversial one or not, but nonetheless.
No, I feel like that's fair. Like, yeah, I guess with that we can transition into Destiny Rising. How has everybody been enjoying that?
Haven't touched it.
Yeah.
I feel like I might be the only one who's actually played it.
Yeah, I already said
I haven't played
touched
it
yet.
I
But
played.
I have a lot of opinions.
I played like the
I've
first
read them.
mission there. But then again, it was on my phone. I know a lot of people are playing it on through emulators and everything. I found my experience with it was like rough, because the controls on phone were not the best. I've heard with a backbone and through the emulator it's fine, but yeah, I have my other qualms with it that will probably keep me from playing the rest of it. But yeah, what did you think, Epic Dan?
I think I've probably put about 50 or 60 hours in Destiny Rising.
Okay.
And I think I played the alpha beta on phone. Like, I wanted to see originally the initial target audience, how they were going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
My initial thought months ago was that it was only like first couple missions you could play back then, at least the ones I played. And I was like, okay, it's cool. It's on a phone. I think Destiny is a bit too complex. The universe and the abilities, the way you move in a third person Destiny, they do a pretty solid job, but there's a lot of information on that small of a screen.
Right.
And there's a lot of things, especially if you get into like the PvP, if you get into the raid that they have, which I've done it all. I've said multiple times, I don't know how people get a full experience of Rising just through phones.
You're right.
But I've had a lot of people in my community that play specifically on phone, and they're like, I play with this, I play with that. There are people that have said they play with a tablet, with a controller, they play with a backbone, or some like external force, or external way of playing.
Like input?
Yeah, input. And it plays fine. So I don't want to say that as a drawback, since it seems most people aren't playing just with their fingers on the phone. They're playing with some other input. And I don't play with a controller really in these kind of games, so I can't really give an opinion on that. But everyone says that I've talked to that plays with a controller on phone, it runs fine.
Okay.
I am playing it on an emulator, and unless you knew Destiny Rising wasn't on Steam or Epic Games or on a more first-party PC launcher, you would not be able to tell that I was playing a mobile game. It is absolutely insane how well it runs and feels like I'm playing a PC game. Barring at times the quality of the graphics, you can just tell they're just low poly.
Yeah, 30 FPS.
But well, not 30. It's just I'm running it at 1440p 120. It never really drops.
So the graphics.
But the graphics are really good. But there's just stuff you can just tell. It's like, I understand this can't be as high quality as I would like it to be because it's not technically meant to be played this way. And it also has to be ran on like some random Snapdragon Android phone that probably somebody's going to play it on. I get that. But also, like, graphics don't really engage me in the way that, like, it's going to be make or break. What does make or break it is the overall experience of Destiny Rising. And unfortunately, I think the experience is really, really good. It's going to cause issues, but I'm also a comic reader. When you have a mainline comic and then you have what is called a Elseworld comic, it doesn't really bother me because I'm used to that. Where like, okay, I have the main story, and then I have a alternate story that is obviously going to take some inspiration from certain situations, but also do its own thing. For example, the chunk of the story has to do with the Iron Lords. Has to do with Saladin, Radagast, Scory, and in Destiny's main canon, we know about them in very specific reasons. We've never seen them interact outside of like some of the Rise of Iron stuff. So they're using that as their foundation. Obviously, it's a prequel. But I'm personally not as, oh, my lore, like some people are, but I'm used to other media using, doing this. It doesn't bother me as much because I understand it's not the main canon. If anyone's watched a Marvel movie
Marvel
in
What
the
If
past 12 years, what if?
Talk about
basically.
like multiverses, right? I mean, literally,
pretty much
part of the
I
Marvel
personally
experience.
take it as like this is just alternate stuff. Like in the first 10 minutes of one of the first cutscenes, you have Radagast with a Ahamkara dragon as a pet that's talking to you. And as a Destiny fan, you're like, what the heck is going on? What is this? And all this happening. But like I'm like, okay, this is hilarious. Cool. I don't really it doesn't bother me in that sense. But I feel personally, as of right now, Destiny 2 is not a MMO. Obviously, it's not meant to be an MMO. For a while, they tried to make it MMO. It is absolutely an MMO in Destiny Rising. And that's going to, unfortunately, draw a fairly decent audience that I personally feel will cause issues down the line. Because whether they want it or
Destiny
not.
Rising or Destiny 2?
Yes, for Destiny Rising.
Okay.
And also for Destiny 2. The only reason I personally think Destiny Rising isn't as big as it could be is because it can't be ran traditionally on PC and it can't be played on console. Which obviously Bungie probably had some sort of like, I'm not going to assume, but they had like some sort of thing like, you can license our product, but you cannot launch this on console. If you could, I personally think this game would be probably a bigger deal than it is now. It has a lot of things which you've probably heard about that the main Destiny 2 game could really use.
Yeah. I think it has like something like it has clan housing. It has what are some of the other like I hear the quality of life adjustments are solid. Like that those
The
aren't
one I'll
really the
mention
issue.
the most is the onboarding.
Yeah.
We've talked to years about how can Destiny onboard.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny Rising's onboarding is next level. There, I
Oh.
can guarantee you there's not a single thing they don't explain and put you in an environment to learn how all of these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
To where if you want to engage with the game in a deeper level, you don't need a single third-party app or
Yeah.
whatever to do it. For example, when you first start, they put you into a training ground, which is in your clan house, where basically they say, here's how to jump, which obviously is very simple, but like, here's how to jump, here's how to shoot, here's what each skill does for this character, here's how much percentage each
Mhm.
thing is going to do. And then you can amplify it with other mods and all this stuff. It basically lays down almost to an explain like I'm 5 level of your entire kit, of an entire class, why stuff happens, when stuff happens, how you trigger stuff happens. They give you numbers for like every single thing,
Mm-hmm.
which if you use things like light.gg, D2 Foundry, and some of the other ones where, you know, we'll use even them to like find out what does Rampage do? What does Last Stand do?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the community does a really good job for that, but I've always personally felt that like the community shouldn't have to tell me, you know, what stuff does.
Yeah.
And the community is great with that, but the game should be able to allow a player to not have to have third-party apps in order to enjoy it in its
Mhm.
entirety. And Destiny Rising does that. Obviously, you have a really in-depth fishing system, which is a MMO staple. You have things that are going to allow you to really engage with it on a level that like I'm very surprised with. Like it would never replace Destiny 2, but I could see if someone had their foot out the door on D2, D Rising is a very solid replacement. The only thing that it'll probably never do to the same level, and this is from someone with about 22,000 hours in Destiny. So I know some people say that and think he doesn't have a lot of experience. And I am saying this as a D1 player with 22,000 hours in Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 combined, that D Rising does a lot of really good things
Mm-hmm.
for a very specific audience that will definitely, hopefully, long term be good for them. And I could definitely see in the future a branching, which we've already kind of seen it, a branching of communities.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of people in Destiny Rising who don't play Destiny 2 at all.
Right.
And that's just kind of their game now.
That's surprising to me, actually.
Which
I
is
didn't know
very
about
interesting. There's a lot. I had some people join my community a few weeks ago who were, you know, world's first raiders in that community.
Okay.
Like they don't play Destiny 2,
Yeah.
what I know. Like they're like top raiders in Destiny
Rising.
And they just talked about how like this game just fits them better than it would Destiny.
Okay.
But they're also playing through an emulator. They just, you know, just
Yeah, I was
kinda
going to ask
down.
if the top readers are playing on their mobile
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the raid, I don't personally think the raid will ever compare to Destiny raids.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't be as complex because
Yep.
of their core audience.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So like that alone will never get me to switch personally. But I could see a lot of people just having two Destinies that they just main.
Mm-hmm.
Main Destiny 2 when there's a lot of content going on. And then when the content slows down, then you have a lot of content in Rising. You can just keep going on.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's really good. I also think it has a lot of issues. Obviously, the gotcha systems are
Mm-hmm.
there. I've not
What does
spent a
that
single
actually-
cent, though.
What does that mean? Because I'm completely like naive to all of that. Like, what actually is a
Gotcha
gacha
systems
game?
basically are meant for you to sooner or later spend money
Mhm.
to get the best version of what you were trying to do.
It's like a lottery system almost.
It's basically a lottery system where you spend a bunch of money and hope and pray the next pool is going to be what you're looking for, whether it be a character, whether it be gear, whether it be whatever currency they have in that game. There also is a thing called Pinnacle Energy, where in order to do certain activities, you can't just spam them.
Mhm.
You have to spend 10 to 15 energy per day. And once you're out of energy, you just can't access that content anymore.
Yeah.
But you
They
can
do
buy it
that.
as
I
well.
see. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I am
So
familiar
there's
with
some
those, yeah.
systems
Yeah.
that are in there that are like, dang, man, I really like to spend personally like 15 hours grinding this if I want to, sure.
Mhm.
But like having a cap really sucks.
Yeah. And they're probably not going to get rid of that because that is something that has been
That's
like
something that you're going to expect that when you play Rising.
or any
Those
mobile game.
What type of
like any
yeah?
mobile
What
game
type of
has like
things
an
do they
energy
do
system.
That's one thing that I'm not against Destiny Rising.
Mhm.
I'm not a hater against it. But the fact that one thing I am a hater about is people coming in and saying that it's going to kill Destiny. And people don't seem to realize, first, most people don't seem to realize that it is not a Bungie game.
Mhm. It's a NetEase game.
I do think that's a problem. I've said that multiple
I
times.
think that's a huge problem that people don't realize that. Another thing is that it is a new and shiny game and it is built specifically to earn or to bring in money.
Mhm.
It is specifically designed to bring in money. It is not designed to be just a game like Destiny 2. It's not designed to be just a regular MMO. It is designed to bring in money for NetEase. That is
Right.
what they do.
I will say I've not spent a single penny yet.
That's
But
good.
that's
very
how it is
surprising.
at the beginning of
And they
every
say
single
that, so
gacha
I'm
game.
personally waiting to see like what the long term will be. But
Mhm.
like it's also silly of me to speak on a game that's going to be a totally different game in a month.
Yeah.
So like everything I say is in the current state of the game. Like sure, it might in a year you might not be able to do a single thing without paying $100 a pool.
Right.
But like as of right now, not spent a single penny, and I've earned everything I want to.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll come back in a month saying, man, I couldn't do a single thing. I couldn't get all the characters or whatever.
Right.
But who knows? I also knew that going in that there was a very big chance sooner or later I'll probably just drop it because of like it gets to the point where I can't just play
Yeah.
and I then gotta spend money. If it ever comes to that, then I'll stop.
Yeah.
But until then, it has a lot of the systems that I personally like from MMOs.
Mhm.
It still gives me that Destiny feeling.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it has a
think
lot of
that's great.
systems that I wish was in main Destiny.
Yeah.
It just does.
From
And
what I
I'm
played,
sure that they heard what Destiny players want. I mean, it
Mhm.
would be totally dumb to not go off of the feedback of the Destiny
I think that's a
community.
problem as well because I've seen a lot of people. I've made multiple posts on TikTok, and I hate reading my TikTok right now with Destiny content
yeah.
because I'm putting up Destiny Rising stuff because it's going to do well right now.
Right.
But I'm also putting up Destiny 2 stuff. And one thing I've noticed going through all my comments is most people don't know Destiny Rising isn't made by Bungie.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, man, why didn't they do this cool thing in Destiny 2? And I and myself or other people are like, it's not made by Bungie. It's not made by Bungie. It's not made by Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a problem because sooner or later it's going to cause an issue for Bungie, whether they want it or not. Because you're going to have a product out here that people don't know isn't, Destiny is Bungie. If they had called it anything else, this wouldn't be an issue.
They couldn't have called it anything else, though.
They couldn't know.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've found from like an outsider perspective who hasn't played Destiny Rising is, I personally haven't come across anybody who thinks that it isn't made by Bungie. Like, I think everyone knows, at least in my experience, that it is NetEase. But if someone was to go like, oh, this isn't made by, well then what the hell? Because it does everything right that Destiny isn't doing. You know what I mean? And I think like that's one of the main things I've heard, apart from like everyone going, oh, fishing is great. One of the main things that I've like heard is why isn't Destiny 2 doing this stuff? Why isn't Bungie doing anything about it? And then when you realize it's not made by Bungie, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna have the
I don't
people
think people
that basically
realize-
saying that they don't. It's not that they don't. Them knowing or not knowing that it's not made by Bungie will not change their feelings on it.
Right.
Because a lot of people want these features, especially like SRLs in that game. They have a whole fleshed out ability system for fishing. They have a whole like skill thing for the card game they have with the drifter. They have a lot of systems that I guarantee if those were in Destiny 2 would bang.
Mm-hmm.
But they also are meant for you to almost never not play, which is a type of play style Destiny 2 hasn't really wanted to do in a few years at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a thing where you can do a dispatch of your team where basically you send a couple of characters that you have off to do a two-hour mission, just AFK. And when they come back, they can give you a lot of materials, random mythic weapons, and random exotic weapons. And it sounds weird, but it's just more systems for you to just always want to be playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Where you log in and there's always something for you to do. And even when you're not playing, there's something for you to be passively earning towards playing, which is a MMO traditional thing. But you have a lot of players who want to play Destiny 2 at all times, but can't because there's not enough stuff to satisfy that player, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's a totally different marketing scheme.
There's something about it though that like, so I made a post about this week, and I misspoke in the original post, and I took it down. But there's something to me. There are AI generated assets in Destiny Rising, like
there's some voices that are just
some people talking about that. Yeah.
So there's
someone's
that.
talking in chat.
There's also artwork. Like
that's what I've heard as well.
Murals and everything. There was a video that I posted alongside like I apologized for spreading misinformation and for misspeaking, but the core of the matter still remains the same. That like they're still using AI generated artwork where like with Marathon we were clutching our pearls and crucifying them for stealing one person's piece of art. With this, where nobody's going after NetEase for stealing who knows how many people's art, right? Like if it all got fed into the generation machine, it's still borrowing from all these different styles and all these different people to create pieces that aren't anything, right? And I understand that like it might be something that you just pass by, something that is you're not necessarily going to like sit down and pay attention to because it's not a detail driven game, but it's something that will keep me away from it entirely.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the art, but like you said, it's like if it's somewhere I wouldn't have even known. I will say the voices, all of the main cast, all the main characters are voiced by actual people.
Right.
It's funny because you have all these random male soldier 1, female soldier 2,
right,
that they have in the game, and every single one of them you're like, this is AI. This is absolutely AI. It's just a weird like difference in like the quality of voice acting too, because all of the main cast, all of the Iron Lords, you play as a character called Wolf, the Ghost, all of them are actually done very well from a writing standpoint.
Yeah.
So it's very odd that they chose to go the route of just anyone not the main cast, just all these random characters, just let them be AI. It's just very odd because they did actually a really good job writing very unique characters. Like Saladin is just really good in this game.
There's also something that's different between generative AI versus so the AI voices have probably had actors and actresses come in and generate use their voice. They probably got paid for it and probably handsomely to use it in perpetuity, right? That's just something. Yeah. And we've had those voices forever. I mean, even like for streaming, like if you have it so that it does text to speech, you're going to have an AI voice reading out the words ahead of you, right? So like, but that's not generative, right? So that was like work that was probably paid for down the line and licensed out, and that's why they use those voices, because it's probably cheaper than hiring an actual voice actor to do the work. With generative AI, when it comes to art, when it comes to video, when it comes to anything, all of that is, and I'm not talking about like enemy AI either. I'm talking about just generative AI, where you're pulling from a huge resource of images scraped from the internet, text scraped from social media and everything. That's what I'm most upset about. And I think I know some people don't care, and that's, you know, like, to each their own. It's just what's going to keep me from playing that game and probably keep me from promoting that game.
Yeah.
I think like one of the things that I find in especially the Destiny community as well, and through my own experience, is the line between AI, like, you know, like let's call it a voice changer, like AI, and then generative AI. The line between that is so blurry. I'm not like trying to self-promo here or anything, but like when I made my first like music videos and stuff, because I make them with one of my pals who I met at university, we make music videos and stuff, and we do them as like Destiny characters. So we've done 2 for Saint 14, 1 for Shaxx, and then 1 for Clovis Bray. And throughout all of those processes, what we did was we wrote the lyrics ourselves, and then we had my mate rap into FL Studio, and then put a bunch of filters on it, and then put it through an AI voice model to make it sound like the character. And when we first uploaded, I think it was Saint Shady, we got like a lot of backlash, and then even, you know, one of the community managers comes on and he's going like,
you?
yeah, Saint Shady, yeah. It was like a lot of backlash and stuff. But yeah, it got like almost like, I don't want to say backlash, but it got like a lot of disapproval, because everyone was going, "Oh, this is generative AI," and I was like,
I remember being told about that.
I don't think it was AI though, because like it's a, you know, he did all the work. He actually rapped in a Russian accent, which is hard. You know, and I feel like that isn't like generative AI. I don't know what the rules are for movie of the week, but that's not what I'm talking about. I think with AI and generative AI, I think there's a big difference, and I think like, I'm not saying like, oh, educate yourself, but like, I feel like for that type of thing, you know, generative AI is almost bad, because you know, like if you know, reenacting some if you're putting something through generative AI to like try and sound like something else, to, you know, that can be detrimental to like, you know, Bungie or something like that. But then if you're just like, you know, reenacting it and then putting it through a model where you sound like it, and, you know, stuff like that, I don't think that's like a problem. I honestly wouldn't even consider that AI. I consider like a voice changer and stuff. So with people saying like Gen AI in the chat right now, I don't know if are they using generative AI to form these sentences, or are they using voice models that they made themselves? Because I feel like there's like a different line there. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you'll ever really know unless they come out and say it.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. You know.
Yeah, in my opinion, generative AI art is not art. It's just it's prompts, and it doesn't. No human hand touched it except for the artist that it was scraped from, and it comes off as a slop to me, and it's not.
Is that what that means? It's like taken from a separate source. Is that what you mean by generative?
Yeah. It's scraped from the internet. I'm writing a class on this right now. That's how. That's like why I know a lot about it. Is that you're scraping it from all different kinds of sources. You can train an AI model specifically on an art style. If you watch Corridor Crew, they did a video called Anime Rock Paper Scissors, the very first one that they did, and they trained it on an anime that they didn't design or anything. It was just like, hey, we like this art style. We're going to use that as a filter over some live performance that we're doing. We're also going to create 3D models around the thing. They ripped off that art style and they scraped it from a specific anime. They got a lot of backlash. And with the second one, what they did was they actually hired an artist and had him draw thousands of drawings and trained an AI model on just those pieces of work. And made the sequel out of that. The first bit I do not see as really all that artistic. The second bit, they paid an artist. There was a human touch. There was intent. The filters, like the way that they melded the textures in with everything else, spoke much more to a complete piece than just some random generated slop. With AI, you do have like hallucination. That's primarily like what it is just a cloud trying to like figure out shapes and colors and everything. But it's it's something that we're going to see more of it in games. I'm just like not a fan of it.
I was gonna say,
I'm
like,
not going to.
this is like definitely a slippery slope because
Yeah.
everyone has their breaking point. I
Mhm.
personally feel, and it's going to be interesting. Like, imagine GTA 6 doing it.
Oh yeah.
Which is a very big chance in a year and a half. You know, it's a unfortunate situation because everyone's going to have their own breaking point, and obviously some of it will probably slide under the rug for people.
Mm.
But it's definitely a
You don't
slippery
really
slope.
notice it, yeah.
I
I do
mean,
like that it's been generally like accepted as slop. That is something that makes me laugh. Like everyone, like you see something that's AI generated, it's like slop.
I would
moving
say
on.
it's not as much as a lot of people want. Like, look at GPT.
Yeah, GPT.
Like everyone uses, you know, a lot of people use it.
Yeah.
And
I
they
never
also
used it.
consider
Yeah.
that. You know, it's like
I don't even know what it is, how to get to it.
Yeah. Well, if it's
this
not
is
your bag, it's not your bag.
ChatGPT.com, you know.
So it's one of those things where, like, me personally, not even gonna mess with it because I saw that bit and I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, like seeing the community be like, oh, this game's really good, but like not go after that same thing was
It does seem a little hypocritical, Dan.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, oh, it's a different company, so
Yeah, it's a
maybe
different
don't hold them
company,
to
and
his
like,
highest standard,
it's
right?
fine.
But-
It's fine if they use it, like, because they're from China. It's different. It's like
different.
Okay, like whatever you have to tell yourself to sleep at night.
Yeah, it does.
Whatever.
It does seem
Like-
a little bit like rationalization,
Yeah,
especially
At the
if it
same
is,
time,
like,
most people
yeah.
pick and choose, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like they just
Yeah,
pick
that's fair.
who they want to attack. It's like
human
I'm
beings are
pretty
weird.
sure NetEase is not the only one
Yeah.
in the game.
Bungie
no
should
question.
do more like what NetEase does. Oh, but not that.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah,
does seem very
anything
Not that one
selectively
thing.
targeted.
That one specific thing. Yeah. Anyways, good combo. Good combo.
Yeah. AI is always going to make people like have difference of opinions and stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I feel like it is what you define it as, and
Mhm.
you know, if you've got a problem with that, then fair enough. You don't have to worry about it. If somebody else has a problem with, you know, or so if somebody else doesn't, then you know, fair enough. Each to their own. I just feel like if you consider it as something that you know you're not interested in, then don't worry about it. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
I'm
fine as
not
long as
for
it's ethically applied. I think that
Yeah,
my qualms with AI is when it is not ethically applied.
Mhm.
And I think that
You argue that no
there's a lot
AI
of
is ethical,
potential.
though.
Yeah.
I'm
You
sorry?
could definitely argue that point that no
You
AI
argue
is
no
ethical.
AI is,
Yeah.
you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is tough.
They talk about
It's-
how like all of the what is it, the server rooms corroding all the water, you know, which
Right,
is
right.
totally
I mean,
off topic
certainly there's evidence that it's not good for the planet, which is at base. But I mean, I think it's kind of like levels after
There's
that,
definitely
right?
levels. Yeah.
There's a huge thing like that's going on in my hometown of Indianapolis. Like they're trying to put a data center on the south side of the town.
Dude, they're trying to put one here in Bama
Yeah,
too. It's-
People do not want it because
They don't want it.
because of the
Understandable.
effects to the environment, because of how
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
will affect
Do not want
your
it.
bill. Yeah, there's so many negatives to it that it's like why would you do it? But anyways, moving on. More video games.
More video games.
Yeah, more video games. We got ourselves a little bit of a Sandbox update here.
Oh yeah, we did.
Hold on, I just want to address that real quick. Gray Fox says, but more jobs, Dan. Like it's 30 jobs. It's 30 jobs that they're talking about creating.
They're destroying a bunch of
Yeah.
forests here to put this data center up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dumb as fuck. All right. Sandbox tuning preview for Ash and Iron. We have a lot of changes coming with this. Ash and Iron is almost upon us, and we'll be returning to the Plaguelands very soon. Our Sandbox team has been prepping a lengthy list of changes coming with our first major update, available to all players, which focuses on weapons, perks, exotic armor, and a handful of abilities. Additionally, we have some tuning changes targeting PvP combat within the Crucible. Sandbox can be a complex conversation. Diving deep into the numbers, cones, and mechanics of Destiny is no easy task. We've added notes and explanations to help here, but some changes will make the most sense when you hop into the game and get a feel for how they play in combat. So with global changes, we're seeing weapon hipfire reticles changing. They're making it so that the reticle elements have been updated with 3 goals in mind. The first, to make reticles properly communicate the weapon's firing performance. The second is to tone down visual complexity and or improve the visuals of reticle elements, perk, active, pips, and charge meter. The third is to update reticle elements to properly adapt the changes to FOV, bloom, and auto aim, which eliminates situations where they could overlap with each other and in turn allows them to move in closer to primary reticle. We have changes to recoil. What would you guys like to talk about most? Like, what do we see? What do we see from in here from the community that was like the most important?
I mean, I think you put it in the notes, the changes to Outbreak.
Oh yeah, I know a couple people that are going to be very
Yeah.
disappointed with that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I
it
know
does-
that
God, sorry.
it's a long time coming. Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. There's a bit of a ping difference. I know that that's like a long time coming. Because Outbreak has been ridiculously overtuned, especially for a primary weapon. You know, rewind rounds, you can get your super back in what, like 20, 25 seconds or something like that. Especially if the more people that are using it, the more it ramps up. But nonetheless, I am disappointed. I really enjoy using that gun. I think it's a nice way to turn off your brain, sit back, and hip fire on certain bosses. I think it's great. But like I say, I think it's a long time coming. I think it's worth doing. How much? What was it? 20%? I think only time will. Yeah, I think only time will tell how much that actually does. But we'll just have to see.
I mean, I think the big problem with Outbreak is that the best option for damage for raid bosses, which the new raid is just basically boss simulator, is basically a primary weapon that's an exotic primary. And it's not even about the damage of the weapon, it's about the super generation, which to me, and I think I've said this before, it means that the meta is, or like the sandbox is very strange right now. Because it's about abilities and supers and not necessarily about like heavy weapons. And that's something that has shifted from that's a huge change, I think. So I personally don't think that retuning Outbreak or Thunderlord or some of these other super gen weapons that are outliers because they do super gen is going to fix that. And I think that's a bigger problem that they have to address.
I need to restate myself because Midnight just said in the chat, I didn't know that it was. I thought it was a 20% damage bonus.
No, it's just a super.
They're basically reducing the super contribution, which is exactly.
But it's still a big issue because all of the ones that are getting nerfed are the problem with these weapons aren't that they give you so much super. It's that they all allow you to infinitely fire, basically.
Yeah.
If you look at Outbreak, if you look at Thunderlord, and if you Barrow Diet, which is another one people use, all of them allow you to pretty much always never have to stop firing. So that in combination with good to decent super regen definitely makes it feel like, imagine how many supers you'd get if you had to constantly reload Thunderlord or Outbreak.
Right.
Not nearly as many.
I
So
think
it makes sense
just,
that they're pulling that back.
Yeah, I think that we are, like, the fact that we are just like hip firing it, and even with Outbreak, the nanites are doing the damage. I still think we are going to get super back really fast, especially if you're on like 200. But at the same time, it's sad.
Wait, hold on.
It is unfortunate. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it is.
You're not supposed to reload it. You're
Well,
supposed to.
Do you have rewind rounds on yours? Because I had to go back and do that stupid mission like 5 times to get the
Yeah.
rewind
Yeah.
because I was doing a 5 feet and Chevy was like, make sure you have rewind rounds on your outbreak, and I'm like,
Yep.
shit, I
How
don't.
do I
I have to
get
go
that?
back and run
Yeah.
that stupid exotic mission over and over and
Oh.
over. So bad.
I
Yeah.
haven't run the exotic.
You got to changes
I'm using my
changes that
original
weapon
one.
so much.
Oh my god, it's just
Yeah, you gotta
the
get
one
you gotta
with
get
Trevor,
rewind
right?
rounds on
is-
that.
Yeah,
I
but
had done
Trevor-
it like twice ever.
Oh
Twice
god.
ever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
So
the worst.
there's 2 parts to
Yeah.
that exotic. You can get the you can get the you
I've
can
been
get
doing it
rewind
wrong.
rounds on it. You can get rewind rounds with it, Sammy, but then you can also get the corruption spreads, the intrinsic. And that goes from 1 to 4. And with the rewind, yeah, you don't have to reload and stuff. But my mate was doing like I ran the mission back with him, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, and he was always kicking off. He was going, how am I doing like 10k less damage than you guys? And he didn't have the corruption spreads times 4. So it's worth going back into that mission 10 times. Yeah.
Yeah, get
So-
all that stuff.
Oh
It
my
makes
gosh, yeah.
a ton more sense.
It really, I think that's what's going on, Sammy. If you want to run it, I hate it, but I would do it with you because I love you.
I was
I
gonna
love
say,
that
I'll
mission. I
I'll
got
help
Oh,
you
you
out
know
with that.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't do it because, and here's the reason why. When they first introduced it, they were like, it's going to be really hard, right? We made some changes to it. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm going to go ahead and run it on the hardest difficulty with all
course.
bows and no HUD.
You're Sammy. That's what you do.
Just
And
the
then
way
it
you go.
became
Yeah.
a challenge from the devs for me to do that. And I just never did that.
You also had the 20-minute timer too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. The timer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
silence
But they have
of
let you
The stress
take off a
timer.
bow, I wonder, to sort of, because like you have a lot of platforming, and that
Mhm.
platforming becomes much harder without putting on a sword. So if you had done it, would you have still platformed with a heavy bow? Would you put on a sword for all of that?
It's
Because you only got
it's
20 minutes.
very challenging to say. I had to use a
curious.
sword. Well, okay, here's the thing though. Is it locked loadout?
No.
No, not
There's
legend.
also a rally right before the boss. So
Oh, well, as long as I don't do damage. That is a slippery slope.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's like a couple of enemies in the 10-minute platforming section, but you can just skip them. It's like doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And at the rate you're going, you probably I never stop when I'm doing helps. I just always run past them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
DOT's
one's
are,
tough.
20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you can do normal mode, and you can do that on 40 minutes for that, and you can practice, and then
True.
you know
True.
prioritize going to legend. But the thing is, with legend, is it's got a different jumping puzzle.
Has a
So
different route.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I didn't even know there was a different route because I had never run it on normal.
Oh yeah, the outside route when you go
I
around
didn't
the,
know
like,
there was another
yeah.
route, and that I was
Yep.
like, I know where I'm going, and then I'm like, no, we're doing this on normal. I have no idea where I'm going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of times
I do know
like
that if you
back in
Sorry,
the
go
day
on.
when we would have to like start over because like something would get like missed or like somebody would have a hell of a time with the jumping puzzle and not be able to make it with the rest of us. Pain.
Pain,
I remember
indeed.
I was trying to go for the solo flawless and under 15 minutes triumphs all in one go.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But then I realized that each one of them only gives you one triumph score each, so I stopped doing that. Because there was no need to actually go and do that.
Are you
know?
also the kind of person that if you have groceries, you try to take them all in at once, even if you're like,
Yep.
Oh,
And then-
Yeah, you get all of them on you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All up on the arms.
you're like, how
Yeah.
many? I have like 8 bags. Maybe I
You-
can
I have
carry
them out.
them.
Like a,
You're just
Yeah.
bleeding
Put them
from
out.
your fingertips
Here's
because you have a
the
billion
trick.
bags on each one.
Yeah.
IKEA bags. Those
Oh, yeah.
massive IKEA
Oh, that's
bags.
a shout.
Mhm.
That's a shout.
Ginny
I have
has
3 of those over there, and they're all full.
Ginny has like Whole Foods bags where you just stick a bag inside of it to keep it cold. We've got like 4 of those.
That's great.
So I got the
That's
plastic ones all up and down the arm. I've got the Whole Food bags in my hands. Anything else she can pile on me, let's go for it.
Yeah, you're like, whatever you can fit.
Yeah, man. We're going for a world record here. Why wouldn't we?
And then you're like, why do my arms
Right.
hurt? This-
You got to
I
get
get
the
it.
thing from Walgreens. Oh, I guess they have them at Walmart as well that I ended up buying. They have a grocery bag hook. You can
Oh, okay.
Pretty much just a big carabiner.
Carabiner. Yeah.
Carabiner, yeah, it's a massive one. You can put 20 bags in the hook. Just that makes my life so much easier now. Never have to worry.
The strats.
I think the problem would be if you started having like a like you have a wagon that you carry behind you to carry all your groceries. I think that's probably the strat.
A
I've
wagon.
never done
You
that.
might as well
I've
get
seen
a
people do
wheelie
that.
bin.
Yeah, just get
A
a
wagon.
wagon. Just get a wagon.
Yeah, it's like the little ladies
So
that
you
have
take
the
that
little
wagon
carts.
upstairs.
Yeah. Great.
Most places have elevators.
So anyway, back to the balancing
Anyways, back to
changes.
the thing.
Yeah.
Seeker pointed out that the Thunderlord changes were a little funny. We discovered an issue with Thunderlord's exotic catalyst, which was causing lightning strikes to refill more ammo than was required to activate it.
I
So we
saw that.
fixed this. They fixed the issue.
Heckers.
Always
yeah.
Thunderlord, man.
So another
So
thing
we
that
have to reload now.
They're hitting Lord of Wolves too again,
Yep.
which is interesting. I mean, to be fair, like the people that I know that I run with that do really big DPS don't necessarily run Outbreak. They'll run like Lord of Wolves with like a grenade launcher and they'll top DPS. So I mean,
What actually
comparable to the
Lord of Wolves, I
the
think it's
legendary
fine
bow,
personally because you have to
the
reload.
Temporal Blast. Yeah.
What actually happened with it? Because I know that like when Heresy drops, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Did they bug out the Release the Wolves perk so that it's just constantly active? Because I always heard that was like a bug, but apparently not. Because they haven't
The
done anything about
hipfire
it.
doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, like it came out of nowhere, right?
I thought they buffed it, but then they buffed it too much and just left it. Or they changed the exotic perk.
Yeah.
Oh, they changed the exotic perk, right? I see. Okay.
New Land Beyond. This one's kind of nutty. New Land Beyond's perk counter previously capped at times 100, now stacks up to times 999 for bragging rights. Increased damage is still capped at times 100 though.
I wonder how long it would take to get that done in a private match.
Yeah. I don't know.
that'd be
Maybe an
fun.
afternoon.
There's just no
You know,
way you
people are
can
gonna
use
have
it.
So much fun with that, though.
Nowhere you can use it yet. If they can find, if they ever have a raid encounter, even dungeon, with something inanimate in a transition area, then we're cooking. Because if I can get to like some statue before the final boss and just sit there for 40 minutes stacking up to max, I would love to see someone just walk into a boss with like 999.
Yeah. Pre-planned memes. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Wait, what was it? There was some activity. Gosh, what was it? Where you would shoot something before you even start the encounter.
That was Grand Overture, right?
Grand Overture.
Well,
Yes.
there's a couple. The last one was Grand Overture, where you could shoot.
What
it
was
to
the
get stats.
activity?
It was. I think it was Pantheon DSC. People would do it on the.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
Pantheon DSC? People would Grand Overture. That was the strat.
Yeah.
That was one of the strats.
Oh,
That was
really?
one of the strats people used for that. Yeah, they would
Because
do
you could
it
stack
on
immune.
you could stack it on immune buttons, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
could
could
also
see,
do that with Outbreak back in the
That's
day.
right.
Yep.
That's where it
Yep.
first came.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you can.
Oh, also,
couldn't
the
you still do
I
that?
can't believe I remember that.
Yeah, Vespers host. Yeah, you could do it at the final boss.
Vespers
the
also
final
on the
raid.
final boss. People Grand Overture on the final boss too.
Could you? Well, you could. Could you also
Oh,
do it
yeah,
for
yeah,
the for
Matrix.
for the witness by hitting his buttons?
No, that's
No?
for you could do that for breaking the buttons.
Okay, gotcha.
No.
Okay.
But
There's-
Outbreak was the original one. You could do it in Crown of Sorrow, where you could
Mhm.
like shoot the pots, and it would stack. Even Monarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. God, the pots. Wow.
Pots.
Throwback.
Everybody was going
I remember.
Zelda on those pots, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I never
Um,
did Crown of Sorrow.
Oh
You
my
missed out on a
goodness,
good time.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it
You
was
missed
a
out
good
on a
raid.
good time.
Or
raid.
the what's the one? Scourge of the Past. I never touched either of those. That's when I took
Scourge
the
is
break. and I
terrible.
came back.
You didn't miss
Ah.
Are you?
anything.
Man.
Are you okay?
Oh,
Whatever.
really?
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Controversy.
Dan
All right.
feel-
like looks at me.
I feel personally attacked, but okay. Sure.
Epic Dan is like thought about that.
Anyways, something that was like profoundly confusing to me was the fact that they're doubling down on featured exotic armor and featured exotic weapons.
Oh,
Yeah.
featured
Yeah, no one likes that.
drama.
Why is that
Oh my
very-
god. The
Yeah.
words I
Avant-garde
have
with it.
that I'm not saying. I might.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
basically
man.
like you're gonna have this, and you're gonna like it. That's
Yeah.
basically what I take from this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the exotic armor pieces being affected by this by being added to the list. At least they're adding and not subtracting. Young Ahamkara's spine and frosties for Hunter will be touched, will be added in. Strongholds and hazardous propulsion will be added in, and then chromatic fire and controverse hold will be added in. For Titans, I just want to highlight this. So they're reworking the exotic stronghold arms, which used to be really funny in a lot of activities because you could just like you just hold block.
No
and
more
just take
hold
out
for you.
Yes.
so much
yes,
damage.
Yes.
And it was ridiculous the amount of damage that you could take with that thing.
That, right?
Oh, you can
Yeah,
do anything.
Pretty much
If-
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but, although I would argue that glaives are maybe more better. I don't know the math. I don't know the math specifically, but in terms of damage resistance, because I know people took glaives into
Yeah.
like GM bosses and just tanked damage or whatever. So I don't know, but strongholds kind of serve like that similar purpose. Is like you are literally a tank and nothing can kill you while you're using them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say for a while now we've provided immense defensive. They've provided immense defensive benefits, but those benefits rarely prove to be valuable to players outside of a niche situation.
Very niche. Yeah, very, very, very niche. There's people who love them though. Like
Dude, Rev.
Oh goodness, I have friends who love them.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
It's such an annoying place.
Exactly who I was thinking.
So
But
annoying.
it is kind of a funny
So
thing. Like
annoying.
if you're running a GM and you're doing GM helps and there's like a boss that's really, really dangerous or whatever, and you have a Titan who's like helping you carry and they can just tank all that damage,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier.
So much easier.
So much easier. But it's very, very niche. Yeah.
Just shoot the enemies better. It's oh my god.
Well, yeah, but still, it's like.
But why? Why? When you can just
I've
take-
helped
Of course
so-
you like
when that came
strongholds.
out.
You're a
Oh my
glaive
God.
user,
It's
Dan.
so
Of
stupid.
course,
It's so dumb.
literally-
It's so good.
So they're reworking it. So what are they doing to
All
make
right,
it
yeah,
change
yeah,
then?
All right. So so they're redistributing the power that the exotic provides to make build crafting with it more interesting, doubling down on the tank fantasy to make moment to moment decisions more engaging. So perfect guard HUD buff now appears as a bar, and stacks no longer drop off at 10 seconds after blocking damage. They persist until they are spent. Blocking larger amounts of incoming fire gains stacks at a slower rate, while blocking lower amounts of incoming fire gains stacks at a faster rate. Landing a direct hit on a light or heavy sword attack consumes 50% of the perfect guard charge, exhausting enemies hit and instantly healing you and nearby allies. That was chef's kiss. Gradually getting up to plus 50 guard resistance and plus 50 guard endurance based on the number of perfect guard stacks instead of the previous plus 100 guard resistance, meaning that you'll be able to build craft with your sword perks a bit more to maximize your defensive and offensive prowess. You gain 30% DR for 1.5 seconds, so damage resist, upon exiting sword guard instead of gaining resist times 4 while blocking. This is now a generic source of damage resistance and can stack with other sources of resist, which is cool. Walking speed while guarding with the sword is now increased when moving in all directions instead of only forwards. So that's what it does. It's
That's
Okay,
a lot.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, that's a lot of numbers. I think we're gonna have to take it into combat and see how it cooks.
Just gotta
you
wait
know?
and see. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
For those people
that's-
that like this playstyle,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely seems better.
Yeah.
I don't know how it really changes because you're still gonna, for the most part, just block, right?
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, it still seems super niche. Like, I don't know if it's going to be
Yeah.
more universally applicable. Like, it's like, especially if
you just have to build
using
into
your
it more.
sword reduces your stacks
Yeah.
or consumes your charge, right? So it's like, okay, so you're just blocking
Yeah.
essentially still, you know? I don't know. We'll see.
I
We'll
do
see.
think that like one of the things that I personally am disappointed by looking at this featured armor expansion things, and I know the community has been wanting it as well. Where are the exotic class items on that list? Because I know that's what people want. Prismatic builds are kind of locked out from that type of activity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You mean
Like,
as featured like
The problem with
rotator?
that is they would have to do
Yeah.
featured exotic class item perk.
It would have
Because
to be
they
perks,
just-
not the
they
actual
just
class
make it
item.
like the class item, then most people just
Yeah,
run that
then
at
it
all
would
times.
basically negate the idea of rotating exotics because literally,
Yeah.
like, there's so many exotic perks
That's
that are
why they don't
included in
have it
Prismatic.
included.
Yeah,
right, I see. Okay.
but it
Until-
would be. I
un-
feel like it would be fair that if you had a perk on a exotic class item for Prismatic
That should work.
was part of the rotator, that
Yeah.
should get the benefit too.
Yeah.
I think that would be absolutely fair. You know?
The problem with
Sorry,
that as
man.
well is that
Yeah.
all of the perks on the class item are never the same. So I wonder if it's like a coding thing because all of them are stripped down
Yeah.
versions of some
Yeah.
exotic perk.
Well, we're seeing here like the Pseudarachne's facade, so that like while Woven Mail is active, it will now also return health on defeating an enemy. That had a direct effect on relativism, which is the hunter class exotic class item. It's like while updating Pseudarachne, we began to investigate some adjustments to the spirit of Pseudarachne to balance it a bit against other options. We conclude this change was premature, but we were unable to fully remove the change before 9.1.0 was locked. So they were able to kind of adjust it, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this featured exotic armor
I
bit.
think it needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think many people are. I mean, I think it makes interesting scenarios, but I think it's like a kind of
I thought that's why we
very
had the artifact.
Yeah.
well, right, because you're supposed to rotate metas with the artifact. I feel
Yeah.
like it basically does what people hate. The Bungie does is locking people into a specific selected
Yep.
play style,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the community. There's a certain amount of that the community accepts, but there's pieces that just feel grating, and this is one of the pieces that feels grating. It's like exotics shouldn't be like limited in terms of the exotics that you're choosing because some are better than others depending rotationally. Like I think that most people could agree that's kind of feels bad.
The only thing that I can really see being like beneficial, and I mean like actually like wow, even though it got a nerf, and this is incredibly niche, but like the only thing I can really see being good on that is the younger Hamkara spine being good in the cutting edge crucible mode. That is quite literally all I can really see. Maybe hazardous propulsion, but you're not really going to use that in anything outside of like lock set or something. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think a Hamkara spine maybe, but nobody's running around with Frosties nowadays. I don't think I've seen anybody using Frosties.
The rest of them are really not just
Yeah.
You know,
I think
it.
I used
I think-
Frosties
okay.
recently.
For what reason?
I don't know.
It's
I
a
think
fashion.
it might have been something with Ekthar because I was so desperate.
Okay. Yeah. Also,
That makes sense. Yeah.
how's the mining going?
Oh my gosh, guys.
What are we up to, Sammy?
Well, I started at what was it, 309, and
309,
I'm
yeah.
currently at 315.
All right. Hey, we're making
That's
moves.
progress.
That's all
That's
right.
progress.
That's pretty
Let's
good.
go.
Wait, is
Did
that
you-
progress? Because it
That's
feels
some.
like torture.
Yeah.
It feels
Well,
like
Oh,
It is
punishment.
progress.
It's
Yeah.
progress and also torture. It's just how that works. It's
Yeah.
it's
That's
just like
kind of-
how
That's,
normal it is.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to be up to. What I will say, and this worked for me, is I've had so many people that are like, you know, shooting themselves because the power grind from 400 to 450 is a nightmare.
yeah.
Don't touch that. Just do what I do. Be happy at 400. You get your tier
Not
4s,
after
you get your
Tuesday,
enhanced
it's gonna be
powers and
easy.
logs and
Hey,
stuff.
I will be fine at 370. I'm fine doing
Right.
GMs 30 under.
Right.
I just need to get into that.
You just need into GMs. Yeah.
You're almost
I
there.
think I watched-
You're almost there.
I think I watched 4 seasons of
Also-
Dexter while I was grinding.
Oh
from
my god.
0 to 400. Yeah, like I watched a lot of stuff. I was just sat in
Yeah.
my chair like that. Like, you know, it was just one of them.
Can I just say one thing though?
Sure.
This might turn into a bigger than one thing though.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let me think of the best way to say it so it doesn't turn into a bigger than one thing. All right. So, basically, okay, without going into it too much, I was going to say the whole thing with Portal and the different levels and Delta. But where I want to get to through all of that is basically that I feel like right now the idea of Grandmaster is kind of trivialized.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
saying that I'm doing a GM dungeon lair really doesn't mean shit because there's no delta and
Yeah.
I could go over, and then it really just, what's the point? And then there's this whole idea of what on earth am I doing if I'm just leveling? And then with Portal, suddenly I realized that Destiny 2 is just a looter shooter, and I don't know if I like looter shooters, and I'm just questioning everything. But basically my point was, without going into everything else, is that GM now just is trivialized because it's not just like when I go into Master Ghost, I know that I'm doing Master Ghost. It's automatically Delta -30. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
I will always be -30. But now it's like, well, what's it matter?
I think power is only for your tiered weapons. I think as far as that like type of stuff goes. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, when you get to 400 as well, the solo ops are going to get harder, which is fun because they add champions and banes, and you have to add modifiers and stuff. Whereas between 300 to 400, you kind of just chill in. You can just run through it. You can do your own thing. But no, after 400, I think just go for tier 3, tier 4 weapons, and you'll be fine. As far as deltas go.
That question
you're
of
right.
what am I doing? Just going for higher tier armor. Okay, why do I have this higher tier armor? What am I going to use it for? Well, I'm going to use it to then go in and make my build optimized so I can go back and grind higher tier armor or higher stat armor. And then I'm like, what is the end goal here?
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly I just don't know whether or not Destiny 2 is the game for me. But then I realized that I think the reason I'm questioning that is because I'm going to Portal and it gives me what feels like less agency, and it's like telling me and throwing me and just yelling in my face that you don't play like most Destiny players, and I have to it's a whole thing. I had this whole issue on stream, and it just, see, this is what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Dude, it's
what Sammy is feeling is unfortunately what a lot of the community is feeling right now.
Yes.
You are not alone.
There just doesn't feel like a point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people feel that way, whether the folks of us that are raiders, because there's like what 10 raids in the game,
dude.
And like, why would I do any of them basically right now? And it absolutely blows.
We did Vow of the Disciple to take a break from Desert Perpetual today, and I was like, we didn't earn anything. We just ran through and we were having fun.
Yeah, this is the kind of worms that I'm gonna struggle with as well, because I like, bring back, like I say, one of my favorite things about the game is raiding with friends. But what's, like I like raiding for the for the fun of it.
Most people raid for a reason. They don't raid for just fun.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, you've got to be a really like big time into the game to be able to do stuff in this for fun. And I know that sounds like really counterintuitive because it's a video game, but like, you want to do stuff and get stuff. And I think the only way I can see stuff like Vow or, other things like, actually having relevance is if you're doing them on Master to get yourself something like a Forbearance or something that was incredibly meta. You know what I mean? But not really anymore.
But yeah.
And that's like the baseline, and it doesn't really go past that. I think that's quite unfortunate.
Yeah. We've said in previous episodes, like having some sort of like armor buff, like anything to like those would do so much for making people want to run those. We were pulling teeth trying to get 2 people to show up and play it today because it wasn't the new thing. Chat wanted to see a different raid, but nobody wanted to play that raid. So it was a weird
Even
thing.
The new raid is having that issue though, because
I want to play it.
Well, I had people the first couple of weeks of Desert that were like, I don't want to raid yet. I'm not this level, or I'm not this level. And you even have people now that's like, let me just grind some more before I, do whatever, because it won't be worth it until I get to I guess 400 right now or whatever. And it sucks because Sammy is absolutely right. And I guarantee there's a very, very, very loud majority who is feeling the same way. And they're going to probably feel even worse in a couple of days because
Mhm.
I'm sure we're going to talk about it. But these Grandmaster dungeon layers that are coming out is going to cause a similar issue.
You know what?
Because
I just don't understand. Like,
why
it's gonna
why
be.
can't they just put the dungeons in their entirety
Yeah.
instead of like pulling them? And I'm really curious to see how this dungeon encounter is going to be different versus what we already had.
Right.
And what's the loot going to be? Is it going to be portal loot? Is it going to be
Mhm.
the dungeon loot?
Is it going to be
No.
tiered dungeon loot? You
Is it
know,
going to be
I think
tiered?
I think
Yeah.
one of the main things that I'm struggling with is like, why are they only doing, like, yeah, okay, they're doing only these encounters in the dungeons, but why is that? Like, what is the
Yeah.
root cause of only doing these encounters? Is it like a struggle on the dev side, or is it, hey, we just want you to get drip fed? I honestly, I don't know, like, what the motive is really. You know what I mean? I'd
Mhm.
like there to be a bit more to it. And yeah, like you say, like what type of loot is going to drop from that? If it's going to be, dungeon loot, is it going to be tiered loot? Is it going to be a selection of that loot? If you're going to add tiered loot to that dungeon layer, why not add it to the entire dungeon? And
Right.
if you're adding it to that dungeon, why not the rest of the dungeons? And then if you're adding it to the rest of the dungeons, then why not to the rest of the, it's a whole, like I say, it's a kind of worms that, you're banging open with my head, because that's something that I'm passionate about with the
Yeah.
rating and stuff. And, if you do one thing, you're going to have to do the rest.
Yeah. Well, let me run through here with the new Pinnacle Ops. We will officially transition over into the TWID portion of this. Dungeon layers are a way to bringing dungeon encounters into the portal through our Pinnacle Ops offering, and will be available for all players looking for a challenge. The encounters will be familiar, but have been updated to work with the portal's modifiers, scoring system, and portal loot. The 3 dungeon layers being added to Pinnacle Ops in the portal are the Pit of Heresy beneath the Necropolis. We have Duality, the Nightmare of Galran, and we have Warlord's Ruin, Heffin's Vengeance. But wait, there's more. For 2 weeks, starting at Ash and Iron launch, 9/9 to 9/23, we are making all 3 of the original dungeons available to all players. Once this period ends, the dungeon layers for Pit of Heresy, Duality, and Warlord's Ruin will remain freely available in the portal. If you'd prefer to farm dungeon-specific loot to fill out your collection in the portal, you can customize dungeon layer activities and toggle the new boon modifier, Classic Collector. This modifier will ensure that legacy dungeon rewards will drop in addition to portal rewards. These will be available to all players during the first 2 weeks of Ash and Iron, after which players will be required to purchase the corresponding dungeon key to earn more of this loot. Please note the legacy rewards will lack seasonal power and gear tiers and are purely additive. I don't know who this is for. I don't know who it's for. Like I understand. Like all of these, like they point out, these are from paid dungeon key raids or dungeons, right? Like
some of these dungeons are 7 years old at this point too. Like,
right. So
would have been a perfect time to just make all. Years ago to make all this legacy content free, but it's.
But they've said that they're not going to sunset things, and yet here we are with quote unquote legacy gear.
Yeah.
Like I just there's no reason to go after a pair of tier 1 arms when you can get a pair of tier 5 arms from doing a solo op. You know what I mean? I think that's so. The question we just said was, is it going to be tiered loot? Apparently not. You can get your pre-Astyanax bow from Duality Galran, or you can get
assume the only tier stuff you would
SMG.
get was like the Mint retrograde or something. Like say Mint is like in Prophecy or Pit of Heresy. I guess that would be tiered.
Yeah, that would. But you can choose whether or not you get the tiered weapons, which of course everyone's going to pick, or you can get old crap that no one really wants to use anymore because it's not updated to the new system. I think that's dead unfortunate. Like I think you said before, like who are they doing this for? With the dungeon keys and stuff like that. Like they've released dungeons. What do you get from it? Nothing. Oh, well then why do it? That's going to be the new player response to it.
Sure. That's pretty much like the current response is why. And I think you're talking about the older raids or whatever.
Mhm.
I think that people in a looter shooter, people want some kind of loot incentive to do something.
Yep.
Like unless they're going for the achievement in the title, which I get, I go for
Right.
that too, for something that I like. But once you've run it and you've gotten your triumphs done and you've gotten your title, you don't need to rerun it anymore. You're done.
Right.
So it really is. It's yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't hunt triumphs as well, so even then.
Yeah, even that, it's not incentivizing. There's people who
Yeah.
are just like, if there isn't a meta gun that I'm going to get from this activity, if it's not going to give me some like tiered loot,
Mhm.
then I'm going to just grind solo ops because it's easier. And I don't have to organize a team or like a group of people to
Right.
get together to do this, so then you're stuck in this kind of like portal solo situation that is the bane of the Destiny current grind
Right, yeah.
experience.
Would have been perfect to let those dungeons like loot pool get refreshed. in
Yeah.
this portal system.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
Yeah.
So I guess they're saying that you
At
can
least
add
something.
a modifier classic collector that lets you get legacy
Mhm.
drops. And
Yeah, but
I
I'd rather
but-
it be like you do pit and you get all the pit weapons in the tier
Yeah.
system. At least
that would have been sick if they did that. If they did like
Yeah.
here's the dungeon weapons, but they're refreshed in the tier system.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That would be so good because I think you mentioned that before, Dan. That was something that we're kind of like, oh, that would be so great if they
Yeah.
I've
went
said
back
for-
and
I think we've
refreshed
all
like
said
the
for a
raid
while.
weapons with
Yeah.
the tiered loot and the dungeon weapons with the tiered loot. Like this is an opportunity for them to do that. So maybe it's like a missed opportunity.
All this to say, Destiny
Yes.
2 Legacy Collection is now on sale from Humble Bundle.
Our
Really great
transitions
timing,
are
too.
fantastic.
What a great
Great
time to
timing
get
for
in.
them.
What a great time to
Yeah.
get
And
in,
spend
baby.
money on all the legacy content that doesn't do anything for you. You can purchase that until October 7th. That said, does it include dungeon keys? Yes, it does. It actually includes dungeon keys for many of these. All of the expansions, all the dungeon keys that they have. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Wasn't there only like 3 dungeons that had their own key? Because for
Yeah.
a while, all the
Pit of
Yeah.
Heresy,
included
Shattered
them.
Throne, Grasp of Avarice.
I thought starting in Grasp until
Yeah, it was Grasp of Avarice. So that
that's
was
like the first one that had
Grasp-
like a separate dungeon key.
These
Yeah,
are
they
the
actually had
three.
like a dungeon and raid.
These are
Yeah.
the 3 dungeons that they've included in saying that they have dungeon keys specifically for them.
Warlords and what was the other one?
I thought Duality also
I think that was just included with Shadowkeep.
was it.
Yeah, I know that it
Duality
was
was
Vespers and
No.
Standard.
Duality wasn't
no, that wasn't Shadowkeep.
that wasn't Shadowkeep.
Uh-uh.
Pit
Pit
was
of Heresy was
Shadowkeep.
Shadowkeep.
I don't remember.
Granted, that's back when the dungeons were included with just the DLC.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't start having dungeon specific keys until Grasp.
Right.
So it's interesting. Well, it's not really interesting because you can't buy like the Pit of Heresy thing separate. You have to own Shadowkeep in order to own that.
Okay. Oh,
At the same
Yeah.
time, it's like
so those keys.
I look at all of their collections and it's like we should have had it years ago, but it's the
oh,
game
was
is
it.
so segmented.
so these keys that they're offering here, that
Yeah.
they say, hey, you get the Pit of Heresy dungeon, Shattered Throne dungeon, Grasp of Avarice. These came with the are included in the packs, and they're now being listed as separate things.
Yes.
Yeah, so you in this like little bundle as well, you don't get your Witch Queen dungeon key, you don't
Right.
get your Lightfall dungeon key or your Final Shape dungeon key, which I
That's-
think is poo.
That's wild.
So even
That's what
then,
I'm
you
saying.
don't have access to Spire, Ghosts, Warlord's Ruin, Vesper's Host, Sunder Doctrine. Am I right in thinking? But you have access to ones that will come if you just bought the DLC.
That
So I
is
think that's
wild.
kind of them just trying to fill out a list.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I
Yep.
can't really get behind that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like their entire purchasing of content has always had issues. Like I don't. The further you get away from content, the harder it is to obtain it as a
Yeah.
player, which has always like been a mind blowing thing. Which is unfortunate. Like something I've always said, like the easiest thing to purchase, which people can't financially do this, and I'm speaking from a privileged position,
Mhm.
is to simply buy the $100 version every year.
Right.
Don't got to worry about it. Just
Mhm.
drop the money. You can't convince people to do that because it's a lot of money for a lot of people. But it's significantly easier if I do plan on playing year round than
Mhm.
having to figure out which version of something do I need to purchase to own stuff.
Yeah.
Especially as they start segmenting it out, even
Yeah.
down like,
It's,
to the dungeon.
Can you imagine how crushed people are going to be when they buy those dungeon keys and find out that it's not tiered loot or loot that's been brought through
That
to
too.
the new system? That's gonna be ruining
Yeah.
people. I think. New players are going to get pushed right away from that.
I'm gonna take a look, see if on that site they mention anything, because it's currently available. They don't link directly to it, which feels odd.
Oh, that's right. You have to purchase the dungeon separately through silver now. That's right.
You do?
Oh,
Yeah.
Those are the dungeon keys that I was talking about. You got the Witch Queen one, the
Oh,
Lightfall
that's
one, and the Final Shape
weird.
one.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but you buy the silver with money, and then you buy that dungeon key with silver.
right.
Yep.
So yeah,
So, and this is also tied to Humble Choice, which is their Humble Bundles monthly subscription
Yeah.
service. So that's all of that feels real weird. I get that like the money goes to charity, like the money here is going to Team Rubicon, or 5% of it is going to Team Rubicon. But man, that's
5% is not much.
weird. Well, the Humble Bundle is kind of weird too.
I always
And-
thought by now they would have just like had a cutoff point
Yeah,
and then just made everything legacy just a part of the core of the game instead of segmenting it so much.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I don't know personally what the appropriate time should be for content to like no longer be getting charged full price because I
Mhm.
do not think
I think the fact that they're still charging for the Forsaken pack is ludicrousy.
Mm.
Like what even?
it's not
is
so much that they're
Fair.
charging because they're still charging like a fairly decent amount of like what is it $30 $35 still.
for the Forsaken pack? I thought it was like 15, but I am in.
Did they finally drop it
pounds,
again?
so- Oh, we'll have a look. Hang on, I'll Google it right
Yeah.
now. Or at least
So
on
if you look
Steam.
at like everything, you know, year over year to
£16.99.
catch up is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up, we do have the developer live stream for Destiny 2 Renegades and Ash and Iron coming up this upcoming Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific.
Huge.
I'm gonna play the video in the background here. What are people's thoughts on the looks of the Plaguelands and everything that we've seen so far?
Everyone keeps saying no Siva.
Yeah. People
No,
are saying,
I know. That's so interesting.
It's like, where's the Siva? Like, obviously,
I'm
we
just-
dealt with them a long time ago, but
yeah,
Where are the Fallen? Why is it Cabal? That's what I'm
Mhm.
questioning.
Mhm.
They're resident inhabitants of the Cabal.
Are we getting a seasonal story to this? I know we didn't have one currently, but
yeah. I
I
don't.
don't-
Yeah,
Anyone knows.
I mean, I hope there's a bit of something to it to be
or at
able
least
to
a
go into the
reason
big one
why
to
we're
do.
going back to the Playlands, including like why all these new enemies are there.
Right.
Mm.
Wasn't there a
What's
bit
that
of
highest new
Was-
exotic mission? That could be something.
yeah? We do get a new exotic mission, so that like that's Vex. That's all Vex stuff there. We have a call.
Yep.
This is Year of the Vex, man.
Yeah,
You're the Vex.
Year of the
I love
Vex.
Vex. It's great. Yeah.
There has to
Feeling
be some
vexy,
kind of
kids.
like, oh, interesting. there might like be like, I know they used to do like a seasonal story and stuff like that. There might be something that ties into like a little story that you can run through or some side quests or something, because that has to tie into unlocking the exotic quest or the exotic mission. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they're not just going to give you one and go, hey, look at this, and then once you're done that with no context beforehand or after, that's going to be a bit of a crap mission, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see. I'm gonna go back a little
Also,
bit.
the axe. You know.
Yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
axe
gonna
is a
pause on
big
the axe
talking
here.
point.
Oh no! Stop it! Oh God!
Buttons.
My God! Okay, hold on.
The axe is cool. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It looks so good. And that
So-
was such
They
a
did
fun
hint that it might be
mechanic.
actually a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a
they
change.
hinted that it might be an exotic.
Yeah.
I believe Scarrow asked about that, and like, oh, is that
I
going to be the
saw
weapon
from
that we get?
Fallout
I would
X
love
about
that.
it,
Yeah.
I think that if it was going to be like an artifact, it would be the Iron Lord axe that you used to have access to in D1. If it's a new exotic, it wouldn't look. It looks like an exotic, you know.
Yeah, and like
so
you have Siva swirling throughout it. Like that's gonna be interesting.
Outbreak 2.0.
After the scythe or the javelin scythe or whatever we had, like I'm tuning in just for them to tell me yes or no. That's it.
Right? Yeah.
And the emblem. Don't forget the emblem. 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The emblem looks neat.
That's
Yeah, that one was cool.
I haven't even seen it. Sorry, I think I skipped that. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I've drifted further and further away from NFTs as I've gone on. So it's just one of those things. It looks nice. Do I need it? No. I'll play the game regardless.
I am a sniffer, but only really for ones that get granted by Bungie now. I got a bit of an elitist mindset once I got the first game of the week. I was like, right, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
This guy
it's not a badge that I wear with pride, but
this
I still wear it.
And all of a sudden
That's
he's
how it
pinkies
starts,
out.
man. That's how it starts.
That's like, make it stop.
But yeah. So the previously announced reward buffs, I think we've covered them. Did we cover them last week? I think we covered them before. Something that I thought was interesting here. So in the portal buffs, something that I actually think is pretty good is we're creating a more consistent power reward experience for the upper power climb. So from 500 to 550 power, if you earn an A or an A+ grade, you get a +1 power on the activity completion reward. This change will also be in effect for A grades in the 400 to 450 power range when Renegades launches. Note that with the launch of Ash and Iron, the power climb from 400 to 500 will be naturally accelerated by the power cap increasing to 550. That seems cool to me.
Huge whirlist.
I agree.
So,
yeah,
You know,
It's really good.
Yeah.
What that says is that basically you do. How do I put this into words?
no more RNG on whether or not you get a +1, basically.
So
Right.
it basically says 50 lost sectors, right? Minimum.
If you want to, but like the problem
kind of the way I'm
is
going to go about it.
you do a bunch of them and you just hope and pray you get a +1. Whereas now, if you want to do it,
It's a guaranteed.
now you get a guarantee. Yeah.
It's guaranteed on A or A+. But like Sammy was talking about this a little bit earlier about slot protection.
yes.
Like
Let's do that. Let's bring that in.
Please.
That's something that like paired with this would be just perfect.
Huge.
You just consistently get
My
brought up.
proposal is that we do. I would say it's fair to do 6 and under. So if you have one piece of gear that is under 6 from your base power level, then the next activity that has that slot of gear, that is what you would get.
Yeah.
And it's guaranteed. So if you have 2 things at -6, then it would be a chance of either one of those.
Gotcha. So you're
And
just
then
trying
the
to
next
catch up
one.
on lagging gear. It's
Yeah.
like more than 5 lagging.
And I think -6 is more than
That's
fair.
generous, you know. Yeah. Or like
Because you
the
still
opposite
have
of
to
generous.
work for it.
Mhm.
But it doesn't just give it to you instantly.
Another thing that I just saw here, make tier 5 rewards easier to earn in the portal. So from 450 power onwards, platinum or diamond reward packages earn a score of 1,250,000 or more to guarantee tier 5 drops from your activity completion rewards. To confirm that you will be able to earn tier 5 rewards before launching your activity, add modifiers and increase your reward score forecast until it shows a picture of a tier 5 Ingram and a score of 1,250,000. As you go up in power, you'll be able to earn tier 5s with progressively lower grades. Example, at 500 power, you'll only require a B+ for tier 5s.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough said.
It's a solid change. It's a very solid change. Like at least they're hearing that portion of it, and they're probably seeing results from like, oh, people aren't doing this shit. Like to
I was like going to get food with my husband, and I was like, we talked about Destiny 1. It was like, I wonder how many Guardians are there out there that are actually like 450. Like,
Right,
what
yeah.
percentage of the population is 450?
Mm-hmm.
And is Bungie tracking that data? Like, I'm curious. I just want to know
Probably
who's
like
out there.
0.5 to 0.2%, honestly.
I'm guessing it's very, very low, right? Don't you think it's
Ridiculously, yeah.
Is there like a third-party leaderboard that we could check?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's
I'll have a look at
interesting.
Caldera report and see what I
Bet
can
Sebro
find.
could.
Sebro could do it. Sebro's
Yeah.
like,
Sebro could totally do it.
Yeah.
Sebro, if you're listening, get on it.
we need
I want the
you.
data. I want to know.
Get on
I'm
it.
like, because that's what the Bungie devs look at. They look at data, like making data-driven decisions. So if we can go to them and say, hey, this is the problem. Here's the data to back it up. But I thought the changes were really good. The +1. I feel like we've had kind of a roller coaster with the TWIDs the last couple weeks. The first one, like 2 weeks ago, they were like, oh yeah, no, we hear you that the grind sucks and we're gonna fix it. And the next week they're like, yeah, just kidding, we're making it worse.
Right, yeah.
And then everyone's like, we hate you so much, Bungie. This is the worst thing you've ever put out. And then they came out with this week's, and it was like, oh, we're actually gonna make it. We hear you. We're gonna roll back. Actually, we're gonna make everything easier at the kind of like pinnacle grind. So it just feels like it feels very boomerangy. Like the TWIDs have been so like, it's like
very swingy.
Everyone loves it. Everyone hates it.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. So, but I do have to say one thing about this week's TWID is it really did. I think that's kind of like what I want to see as a fan of Destiny, is I want to see the devs being responsive to the community, because it is a live service game and they've won numerous awards about their community management and interaction with the community. Like, I want to know that they're listening, that they hear the feedback. And I think this week's TWID really, that one particular line in like absolutely highlights that this is a super positive change for the power grind and how onerous it is. And I think it's an absolute dub. And I think it means it's what the community needed. I think they needed to do that, and I'm glad they did it. Enough said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Babe, come back. I've changed.
Babe, come back. I've changed. Baby, please. Baby, please.
Babe, please.
Without you, I'm nothing.
Here's some flowers.
I think the last thing that we should probably address is the Epic Raid update.
Yes,
that was
Yes.
The release date and the world's first streaming requirements. So in an effort to provide a stable and high quality experience, we have made the decision to delay the Epic Raid by 1 week. This activity will now ship on Saturday, September 27th, and the world first race will begin at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that is 1 p.m. Eastern. Contest mode will be active through September 29th, ending at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We understand that this may create challenges for some in scheduling, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Our highest priority is to ensure a fun, smooth experience, not only during the race, but for all players who wish to take on the contest difficulty or play the Epic Raid once normal mode becomes available. Additionally, we've created new rules for the upcoming world first race, including a list of streaming requirements. These requirements are both for verification purposes to combat cheaters and to improve the overall viewing experience for our players watching streams. Marketing. We will use this race to test out these requirements, and based on the outcome and player feedback, we will make additional changes to these rules in the future. So streaming is required, but only one member of the 6-person fire team has to stream. The stream must be on YouTube or Twitch. The stream must be set to video on demand. If the team player wants to hide portions of their screen, they must use an overlay provided by Bungie Destiny the game and cannot use additional overlays to block other portions of their stream, even as a joke. They said, note, stream overlay will hide portions of the screen during the competition. Expect this to be published in the coming weeks. It may be edited to add your branding and your face, but no additional gameplay content may be covered. If you wish to compete, yet have no desire to cover your screen, awesome, don't worry about it. The team member who streams cannot black out or hide their screen or portions of their screen outside the provided overlay, and game audio must be on at all times, but players may mute their voice audio. So,
from what I've heard, that's the
good.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is comms.
I mean, remember Salvation's Edge? That was absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a nightmare to watch.
Yeah.
I say watch, there was no point.
I want to
really.
see the overlay first before having a opinion on it.
Yeah.
To be
See what it
honest,
looks like.
My thought is it's going to be very, very simple. Like they're not going to like, if you see the overlays that they create themselves for their experience, I'm sure that there's going to be like, I'm sure it's going to be fairly simple compared to some of the things that people get.
I think it'll
It's
cover the
very
buffs.
simple.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if, like, on Hobgoblin Encounter, how your grenade changes, I think maybe that,
Mm-hmm.
like, covers your abilities or something like that. But other than that, yeah.
There'll probably be a black bar underneath the health bar, your health bar. There'll probably be some sort of black bar for the abilities. I'm trying to think of what else is
Maybe
necessary.
the boss.
Probably just that. Just
Yeah.
Might be
left
like
side and then
the
top
boss.
middle.
They might have like a final stand type thing on certain encounters as well, so they might
Mhm.
cover up the boss health. I don't know, maybe, or change the name, or I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I
Yeah.
hope that it looks nice.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just black squares.
We'll see.
I'm sure it's going to look professional. I think that the question is, because we had a conversation about this at a previous podcast, right? About
Mhm.
Yeah, right
whether
before
or
the
not
raid.
So-
they were going to enforce like showing the content for.
We did have this conversation.
We did talk about it, and then there was the point brought up that, like, for TOS, if you're streaming a directory, you have to make sure that you're actually showing the game that you're streaming, and that was part of the conversation. And then part of it is like, well, how much is Bungie really going to tell people how to put their content out?
Yeah.
And I guess the answer to that is yes, if you want to compete for World's First, right? Because
Yeah.
you could always stream it any way you wanted to if you're not
Yep.
competing for World's First. And I guess that there's then you get sorry, I'm like in my mind, I'm like, these are all the points. It's like, and then it kind of gets into the why are they doing this? And if we did not have such rampant cheating in
Right.
Desert Perpetual, would we be seeing this type of direct like control that they're trying to exert over
Right.
people who are doing the World's First competition?
I do think that one of the things that people like were struggling with the world's first type thing wasn't necessarily world's first, but more the leaderboard rankings and the amount of people who ended up getting the emblem. Because what was it, like 60 to 80%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that only the serious people are going to be running this overlay. You know what I mean? Like Team Nuts and well, that's the only one that I can name off the top of my head and stuff like that. But with the if you're just like a casual player like myself, if you do want to go for contests, and chances are I probably won't because I don't really have like a team ready or anything like that.
Right.
You're not going to be running the overlay. You're just going to be going for it. You're going to get your emblem, and I don't think that there's any way for Bungie to actively combat cheaters with an overlay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's more just for those people. I think as far as actually addressing the cheating goes, they haven't really done much in this twit, unless I'm wrong, unless I've missed something. But I don't think as far as actual cheated clears go, I don't think there's anything that really addresses that. We'll just have to wait and see what they do. But as far if you the world's first and you're actually competing, like then fair enough. Yeah, use the overlay.
Yeah.
I didn't take it I didn't take this overlay for being targeted towards cheaters personally.
Does it not say that?
So what?
That's why I said it's not.
So what? I guess the question is, why are they implementing these changes? Because I mean, I think the other argument could be made that it's for the viewer experience, right? Because that's
I was going to say
feel
it's definitely for that.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
if
I feel
you
like the
are
main
showing off your
contention-
Super Bowl, like
Yes,
it's
and-
your food. Like if
Right,
you're going to
'cause
show off
the-
your
the-
Super Bowl,
marketing.
no one's going to.
Yeah, it's marketing.
Yeah.
If it's marketing and the viewer is having a terrible experience because they can't actually watch the content,
Mhm.
then I mean, I think in my mind it's probably both. I think it's
Yeah, see,
probably
That's what
Go
trips me up is it says these requirements are both for verification purposes to combat cheaters and to improve the overall viewing experience for our players
Right.
watching the stream.
So it is.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah.
They're saying both. It's both. It's
Yeah.
because Dan, you've always said that like the world's first race is their Super Bowl. It's their big marketing opportunity. Gets lots of eyeballs in the directory on the game. If people are looking at the top streamers and they don't see any game,
Yeah.
they're missing out on that advertising or that media, right?
Although I will miss
I would love
ATP's
to see.
overlays.
I know the
These
Taylor
does have
Swift
the
overlays.
best
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious as like for contest teams who are competing for World's First. I'm curious as like how people feel about that. Like I want to know what ATP has to say about this change. Like
He's totally fine with it.
Yeah, like as I feel
A
like
lot of
like,
the top
Yeah, go ahead.
teams are 110% fine with it.
All right with it.
Mhm.
Because
What
they're still
they
permitting
wanted.
overlays. They're just making it like
Yep.
standardized, right? Yeah.
Because they
And it-
didn't want to do it. But when it is that close
Yeah.
and they've been in an encounter for 7.5
Mhm.
hours or so, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're making headway.
Time to
So
stop
it's
others
like,
from making headway.
Yeah.
I
Well-
mean, if you think about it, that's when they get the majority of their money from
Mhm.
Twitch, from content.
Sure.
they get
When they're high in the directory
thousands
and they're
of dollars.
they're
Mhm.
first
Yeah.
in place, they in first place, whatever. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when if they black out their screen or have too much on it, those numbers drop. So it's not like they want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think Epic Dan is also right about this. Is I think that it's hard to form an opinion without seeing the actual overlay, because I think that we'll
Yes,
have
he's
a
gonna
more
wait.
like finessed opinion once we know what actually is going to be covered and like and that. But I feel like some amount of standardization is really nice, and hopefully it will improve cheating and the viewer experience. But,
Who's Eddie in chat says, do you think anybody will go to the extent of making an alt account so nobody knows it's them streaming it, hoping that they'll be buried in the directory? So there was
People have talked about that.
this was something that I thought about
Interesting.
too, of like,
Yeah.
because only one person needs to stream it, but multiple people can stream it. So if one person who's higher up in the directory wants to cover their screen, as long as somebody else on their team is running,
Correct.
like,
Correct.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
lose
how
out
that
on so
changes
much
it.
money if you do
Yeah.
that. I don't see anyone doing that. No,
Yeah, it's just interesting. I could
it's not
I
all
mean,
about
I
money,
think-
but like it's.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you
Anyone that's
also
there, you definitely could make a lot of money just being even in one encounter
Mm-hmm.
at the league.
yeah. No, I mean, I could see that because you have like if you have like 6 people in the team and one of them is like a really big content creator and one of them has like a Twitch channel that's
Mm-hmm.
like has 50 followers, like, and their mom watches it, you know, like they could stream on that channel instead of like the big channel, and then they could still comply with Bungie and do the Bungie overlay for the smaller channel, and then just cover the screen entirely for the one where people, and then I just going to make it harder for scouts, because I mean, I don't think that's going to matter, because like people who are scouts for World's First teams are going to know all the people on the teams, and they're going to know to find them in the directory and whatnot. So I don't think it's going to
The directory is
either
also
way.
not big enough to hide. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like even on a contest day, it only takes 3 to 4 minutes to scroll to the bottom.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're
Yeah,
streaming, someone will find you.
Sorry, I got a cat.
Yeah.
I also think that like people, it's interesting because when people are ahead in the world's first race, like organically their numbers climb because people will find out about it, they'll tell other people about it. So
Yeah, it gets shared.
okay.
Yeah, and I mean it is easy to multi-stream too. Like just one of those things, man. Just one of those things. That said, I think that's pretty much all the last one before we get into questions. And we'll only do a couple of the questions that we have been asked. Earlier this year, we announced that some voice talent was unavailable to record lines for Edge of Fate, and the temporary performances for Ikora, Orin, and Chioma were going to be used. We're happy to announce that with the launch of Ash and Iron next week, the original English voice talent for Ikora, Orin, and Chioma have returned with newly recorded lines for their characters. We're also excited to share that the French and Spanish voice actors are in the process of recording their lines, which we expect to ship with Renegades later this year. That's a huge one.
Massive.
That's cool.
I'm so
Good.
excited for
Yeah.
it.
Dubs.
Yeah. I saw Mara Juno like retweet this, like retweet like a capture of this. It was like, we're back, baby. It like is great.
I love it.
Yeah. You love to see it. You love to see it.
I do think that the voice acting they did initially though was still pretty good though. I don't want to devalue that.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
think, bring back the OGs. We like that. We like that.
Yeah. All right. So that was all the news. Let's go through some questions. Tiddly, why don't you pick a question from the queue?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, Matt's question is pretty particularly directed to me about the Tom Christie Skeletor video.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Christie does these like YouTube videos where Skeletor is basically like complaining about Bungie. And I watched it on stream.
Someone told me about that.
I've never seen one before, but apparently it's basically hilarious. It's kind of like an acted out rendition of sort of the community response to the power level grind and then the TWID, and then it makes fun of like Marathon and like it's absolutely hilarious. And I don't know, my thoughts are I think it's great. I think there's definitely a space for that. I think that like I said, I think that it's been kind of a roller coaster with the communication and kind of like a mixed release on the DLC and also the state of the game after after ending the 10-year saga. I think that there's been a lot of drop off and uncertainty. So I think that having that humor is very, very good and important, and I loved it. I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Right.
Would it ever win Movie of the Week? No.
No, probably not.
But is there a space for that type of humor? Just be kind of like as a coping mechanism? Absolutely. I think so. Yeah.
All right. Epic Dan, do you want to pick the next one?
Yeah. I feel like this one for Eddie, we've talked about it a little bit, but
so it's not showing on the screen, so I'll just read it out loud. Few weeks late with the question, but how does everyone feel that every Desert Perpetual encounter is a boss and no puzzle encounters?
I know we've talked about originally, like I guess right after DP versus now. It is still, I enjoy Desert Perpetual. And I personally want to hold off feelings on not having any non-boss encounters until we see the epic raid, because I personally still feel that we might get like a more
Verity 2.0
vault. I could see them putting it there. Which, hopefully, but just gotta wait and see. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have more mechanic-driven non-boss encounters in Desert Perpetual.
Yeah,
it is at first it was a nice change of pace to see like a boss, because that's what we liked about Pantheon, was just boss. So I enjoyed it for that. But it would be interesting to see. Okay, now you did all the bosses. How about to do like mechanics?
I wonder if they make it so that you like have to complete all the encounters, like all the encounters for the normal raid and these new puzzle ones in order to get to the boss in order to complete it, or if they make it so that you can kind of like choose your path.
Maybe you have to just do 3 encounters in general.
Yeah, and then fight the boss. That's something that's interesting. I could see that maybe being something, but
it's interesting because like I don't expect us to have any new encounters after the final boss. We already have that, so it would have to be something before that. And at least in my mind, as of right now, it makes more sense to add puzzle encounters than just more bosses. I don't know.
Yep.
I like my
there
puzzle
really aren't
encounters.
even transitions in it. Like the only transitions are like getting to the encounters, which,
right? Yeah,
aren't even that transitiony. I don't. Sorry, go ahead, Lemonade.
No, all I was going to say is that I like my puzzle encounters. I think like if it's like a world's first or something like that, I think a puzzle like Verity or something is a really, good in that case. I think the biggest struggle with the world's first in DP was the damage check.
Yes, for sure.
There was especially on stuff like Wyvern, like there was, people could not pump out that damage, and fair enough, because it was a toughie. But I do think that that is something that the raid is lacking, puzzle encounters. But I suppose actually doing the encounters, and the difference with this raid is that you have like puzzles during the encounter. Like, so like let's say you do anyway, but like then when it comes to boss DPS, you've got to do stuff as well, and I think that is really unique.
Yes.
So on the one hand, you're getting rid of the puzzle encounter, but at the other hand of it, you're also doing puzzles during DPS, which is something that hasn't been done before, unless I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what the epic grade brings. But
there's been some. Like, I know you didn't, like, I was gonna say Scourge. You haven't done Scourge. Scourge was you had to do stuff with WoW DPS, for example.
Yeah,
really?
There's been a couple of times where you've had bosses where you had to just
had to do mechanics.
Stuff.
Process.
I
think that it's.
Do you
I think
you
that
say
it's,
Ribbon?
Riven would be one you could consider where because you have half the team doing a mechanic at the same time as the other team, other half doing DPS. So yeah, Riven counts.
Tiddly, what was your point?
Oh, I don't even. It wasn't even that good. Like,
Okay.
I just felt like the like Desert Perpetual is a full boss encounter raid is kind of like. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's kind of fan servicey even because I think that the community loves boss encounters, and I would say that they love them more than any other kind of encounter, including puzzle encounters. As somebody who loves raids generally, do I think that having variety in a raid is fun? And do I like the run and gun encounters? I love run and gun encounters, like like Salvation's Edge. Like that one's really fun. I love like. The vow encounter that's the run and gun encounter, like and transition encounters or transitions, like having fun transitions and also having puzzles. Like I feel like having variety is really good, but like the community loves bosses. So like this raid is very much like a community oriented raid because of that. I'd say that was
it's
my
such a unique raid as well, though.
How do you guys think that the love of Pantheon and the demand for Pantheon played into the all boss?
Absolutely. I mean, that was such a wonderful, wonderful raid experience. Maybe like the best singular new thing that Bungie has put out since they invented Trials. I like as a PvE player, it was phenomenal, and the reception was excellent. So I think they may have seen that and been like, okay, the community likes bosses. Let's do a non-linear raid that's comprised entirely of bosses. I could definitely see that affecting it, Sammy.
Yep.
Yeah. Quasi-related. How do we feel about the feat system for Desert Perpetual compared to like other things that we've had in the past? Are we a fan of the feats this like about a month out, or how are we feeling about them?
Bring them to the other raids. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love them. I think 4 feet raids, it's so daunting to like somebody who hasn't done the raids before. But like with, once you actually get used to it, like one thing that I would say with like starting new games is if you start on easy mode, you're kind of going to have like a, weird experience. Because then when you go into the hard mode, you're like, oh my God, that is nails. You know what I mean? But if you start on hard, then when you go into the easy stuff, you're like, yeah, this is a breeze. We can carry on doing the hard stuff. You know what I mean? If you learn in the difficult mode, then it's always going to be, good. So I think with like doing like a 4 feet, obviously, everything except for contest or master or whatever it is now. Pardon me. I think like if you learn with that and you go into that in the deep end and you learn that way, all of a sudden you're doing 4 feet left, right, and center and stuff like that. Right. So I think the best way to, if you bring that to the other encounters and make like the encounter challenges, the mechanical things, and then you add Banes to the other raids and stuff like that, you're going to have much better of a time. So I think involving like, adding tiered loot as well, sure, but also add feats to the other raids. I think that would be fantastic because that would, spice up old content. It'd give you a reason to run it and stuff like that. And while it might not contribute to the title, maybe it could be a guild or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought on my feet, but I just think that would be fantastic. The guilds, sorry, not the guilds, the feats in the DP, I honestly don't think there's a point in doing it without them. At least that's my opinion anyway. Because like I say, I think tiered loot is quite important, especially in the game right now. So yeah, I think definitely run with feats. I'm a big fan of them. I don't know about you guys though.
Yeah, I mean generally I like feet, so yeah.
Just generally.
Wait, what?
Give me the grippers, baby.
Interesting.
Famously, I've shown them on stream. Cryo Phoenix has
not just on stream, but on Destiny
Yep.
Destiny Digest too. We've had
That's
Dan
right,
Feet.
baby.
love you, baby.
And feet appearance.
Cryo 21 Phoenix does have like an interesting like comment here though, is like feed is neat, but I fear it may deter teaching people because you have to kind of work up individual people to get the best loot for them. I think that's something that is that is a possible like burnout point or
Yes.
friction point, just because like
Yes.
you have like maybe 3 people who are on tier 4 and they're working up to like finishing this one out for tier 5, and then you have somebody who hasn't even completed it before and they run on tier 4, but they're now up to like being able to do a 2-tier raid. Like that's a friction point, and I feel like that's something that maybe they could kind of curve by just saying, oh, if you completed a 4, then you just are up to, you can now do the 5 one. Like if you've completed at 4.
yeah. I see what
Like-
you mean. So like you have to unlock
Yep.
them as you go. Like you have to unlock them.
Yeah.
And you can't. Yeah.
Oh, I did
No, I
forget that you
totally
actually have to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot you did.
But if you've got somebody who's already done it and they're already teaching you, you can go like straight into it. You know what I mean? Like if you've never
Yeah.
done a feat before, obviously you can go straight into a 4 feat as long as somebody's already
Yeah.
done it. So
Yeah,
that's
like,
a nice feature that they've done.
that's a nice feature. It's just like the edge could be curved off of it a little bit by like allowing everybody who jumps into that by like coming all the way up to that point too. Last question of the night, Lemonade. Why don't we have you pick it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do I find them?
They're in the document that I sent you.
Oh, okie dokie.
Yeah, in the document that I sent you toward the bottom, it's column 5. I've highlighted the ones that we've already asked. Go ahead, like pick one.
I see.
Pick one. Ask, like, go ahead and recite the question, and then we'll talk about it.
Let's have a look. That's a pretty good one. That kind of builds into what I was saying before. If you had the whole of Bungie's ears at your beck and call, what is a constructive pro/con that you can give Bungie right now of Destiny 2?
Question courtesy of
pro
Grey
and
Fox.
Of Grey Fox, yeah, thank you. I think like a pro and con that I would say right now is that the community for a pro, I think the community is so desperate for the game to be good. You have all these people that are waiting for something, let's say magnificent, you know, for lack of a better word. You know, they're waiting for something like that to happen. And there are going to be so many people that are excited. It might even bring people back to the game and stuff like that. You know, if you were to, you know, sort of just do something really, really good, things that the people are asking for, to actually bring, you know, people back to what. Where am I going with this?
It's 2 a.m. for you, dude. So
No, I agree with you. Like Lemon, I think that the absolute crazy response to Destiny Rising illustrates your point really, really well. I think that you have a community that's thirsty for content, and they just want to drink it up. They just want that content, right? So, you know, they just need to put it out there, and the community is like really wants it. Does that kind of go along with your point?
Yeah, the reason what I was saying before with like, you know, the reason people are so like pissed off on social media is because people want the game to do well. They want it to succeed. They want to be heard and stuff like that. So, you know, if I had the whole like of Bungie right now, I would say listen to your community, listen to what they want. That's, you know, a pro. The community is there. As far as cons go, put more stuff in the portal. I'd go as far as to say take the portal as a separate tab and put that onto the world screen like you have with like Eternity or something. You know, it's like a little vortex on the destinations tab, or the director, sorry. Put the portal there, and then if you want to go into the portal, click that. But as of everything else, add tiered loot, add it to the power level. Don't create this legacy gear that they're saying, yeah, sure, maybe stuff that was sunset pre, you know, Edge of Fate, sure, whatever. But, you know, with the portal, I just feel like with the amount of stuff that's kind of been, you know, cut out of the game, put that back. Please put that back. I think that's one of the most important things that they can do for the health of the game, because all of a sudden, all you can really do that makes significant impact on your experience is portal stuff. And once you've done it 5 times, you know, at the end of the day, it's stuff like Encore that we played in Echoes and played it a couple of times, and that was kind of like it, you know? Why would we want to keep on doing that again and again and again? We want to do raids, we want to do dungeons. stuff like that. Yeah, I just think like that's something that they could really do, and that's a con that I would suggest. Or I would say that they've got going for them right now. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that are, though.
I think, like, personally, I think, like, I enjoy the portal screen for telling me, like, what I can do to, like, what activities are targeted so I can find the loot that I want. I think the con to that is that, like, there's not enough variety in there. And like you said, we need more things being relevant in there than we do need more activities, but we also need more relevant activities, things that will actually help us with our loot chase.
Yeah.
And like that's the big thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just really narrowly allowing people to grind for the leveling and like funneling them through something. I mean, and I my biggest constructive criticism right now, of course, is related to the grind and how it doesn't encourage you to do endgame like PvE content. But I was talking to my husband and he was like, I don't like it either. And he's like 330. He's way higher than I am in the grind just doing solo ops. But he's like, I don't like that there's pinnacles that I have to play with other people for. Just like he's on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Right.
He's like, I just want to be able to grind all of it solo. Why do I have to go into Crucible? Why do I have to do a pinnacle thing with an activity with its match made with it's just like we're just I'm like my marriage is over because of this freaking portal. It's like no one is happy. I'm not happy. He's not happy. No one is happy right now.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah. I think what Jay has just put in chat, Paul doesn't have enough content to warrant taking over the main focus. I think that is absolutely spot on.
Well,
honestly.
And it's not just that it doesn't have enough content, it's that it's old content, it's recycled
stuff
content.
That
Exactly. Yeah. It's stuff that's years old. It's not like fresh. Like the fresh content isn't being, highlighted, right? So yeah, I think that's a problem too, right? Because don't you want the power grind to be connected to the new stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe
you would want.
Maybe
I would think
like where you're spending the time in the game. Maybe you want to highlight the work that all the devs put into this amazing like new location, to this amazing new raid. Like maybe you want to highlight that instead of having somebody play an activity that's 3 years old over and over to grind for.
But then also end game loot as well. Like put it in other dungeons. Maybe not like tiered stuff, but like put power leveling into dungeons raids. Maybe keep it in your story missions and everything that's new in the the expansion, but not like recycled stuff like Encore and Starcrossed and stuff. I don't think that exotic missions are an end game personally, but that's just me. I think that power leveling should come from something that you earn. Maybe if you want to do it solo, you could do the solo ops and stuff like that. But just I don't know. Yeah, just make power leveling a bit more accessible.
Cut in real quick. I want you guys to know that they didn't just put legacy stuff in. Caldera is brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke because
the one
right now.
Great. Thank you for highlighting that singular exception.
You know what?
Caldera is brand new.
I overstated, Sammy. You're absolutely correct. There's
All
one singular new thing in the portal.
One thing. It's very important, guys.
All of my concerns, all of my criticisms, out the window. You're right.
You fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We're all right.
It was right in front of us all along.
Caldera saves us.
Give me some helmet or a chest piece, please. Oh my gosh.
Have you not got your helmet yet? Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Well, I got one and then I needed another one.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes.
It's
the fun.
It's a process.
What power level are you at now?
I am at 317. I have a -4 on my helmet and a -4 on my chest piece.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll check in next week. see what we can do. All right. I think that makes an episode for all of us. Thanks to everybody who had questions. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Lemonade. Where can people find you on the internet? What do you got going this week?
Oh, so I will be streaming on Twitch. You caught me off guard there. I'll be streaming on Twitch. I'll tell you one thing actually that I do want to plug. I've just done my 100 Guardian videos, and what I'm aiming to do now is I'm going to ask either 50 or 75 or 100 more. I'm probably going to go for 100 more.
Yeah.
What changes they want to see in Destiny. So what I'm aiming for is I'm going to try and get a completely different squad of people who weren't in the previous video. I'm going to get a completely fresh batch, not a single dupe. So if anybody wants to be in that, you can find me on Twitter at lemonademp4_. Or you can message me on Discord at the Lemonade Dealer. I'm not really that fussed. My DMs are always open. And if you want to watch some cool movie stuff that I've made, look on my YouTube. And that's kind of where I'm up to. So I'll be making my new video. I believe we've also got a movie in the works at the moment.
Heck yeah.
We're doing a Lord of the Rings spin-off. It's going to be about 8 minutes long. Kind of like the Man the Guardian, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
You'll find that on YouTube within the next month or so. So thanks for asking that. Yeah, you'll find me over streaming on Twitch, and we'll probably be doing most of it there. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, congrats on affiliate also, by the way.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Just let us
I
know
appreciate
before we
it.
started that
Yeah.
you just hit affiliate, so congrats on that. That's huge.
Yeah, next milestone is Bungie CC. I sent my application on the 22nd.
Heck yeah.
Great. Good
so-
luck.
Woo.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
We'll see you in there. Epic Dan, what about you, bud? Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on twitch.tv. ShepardDan22. Doing a whole bunch of Silk Song until Tuesday. And then after that, Borderlands. You
Yeah.
can find me on the TikTok. You can find me on the YouTube and the Blue Sky and Twitter.
Heck yeah. Do you know which character you're going to be starting in Borderlands?
No, we're gonna pick that day. But
Okay.
with Borderlands, we always do all 4 characters. So
Yeah. I picked Harlow with my game time, and it was pretty fun. Just put a little bug in your ear.
let's
Sam,
start with that.
yeah. Sammy Cat, what about you, bud?
You guys can find me twitch.tv/SammyCat. I'm also Sammy Cat on YouTube, and then Sammy Cat Plays on Twitter and TikTok and some other stuff probably. If it's not
Other stuff.
Sammy Cat, then it's Sammy Cat Plays. Dot.
Heck yeah. Tiddly, what about you, friend?
Yeah, absolutely. I am twitch.tv/Tiddly. I stream Monday through Friday, 9:00 Central or so. So come by in the mornings for some auditory caffeine. I'm also on Blue Sky at Tiddly.
Heck yeah. My name's Danfinity. You can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram, the Danfinity GG. You can find me, just go to my website, danfinity.gg, and you won't have to worry about where to find me. It's just like that one location, that one address. Please don't find my home address.
Don't do it, guys. Don't.
All addresses, but
That is not a
IRL
show.
one.
Yeah. We'll be playing Ash and Iron stuff on Tuesday, and then later this week some Borderlands 4. Very excited about that. So, yeah, man, this the back half of this year is like crazy stacked, and so I'm not gonna have a lot of time. Dude, yeah, just crazy. So,
It's been a crazy year for games.
yeah, man, we have Ghosts of Yote at the beginning of
Yeah.
October.
So many games coming
Yeah,
out.
cannot wait.
Good problem to have. Yeah.
So many. It's
Yeah.
so many are packed toward the end of the year. It's just nuts.
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks everybody for listening to the show, and we hope you find
Yeah.
what you're grinding for. Hell yeah.